If that's the worst part of the day, is that we're a little hot when we record a podcast, that's fucking winning, dude.
I'm going to roll after this. This is not going to be the worst.
Oh, you're rolling at the 4 p.m. class?
Yeah,
Fuck yeah. All right, hey, stay on that mic a little bit.
Cool. I just got done telling me.
So yeah, and literally right before we sat down, I was telling you about ketone IQ. You've never tried these before.
I have not. I've been super curious.
And so this is, like Andy Frisella always says, this is not an ad. This is just a product that I like. I actually was sponsored by him for a little while. And then they said that my show just wasn't producing enough to be able to renew our sponsorship, which is weird because some of my other sponsorships say our show is their top performer.
Crazy.
Like BioPro says I've been their top performer for 2 years now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
I mean, I'm on it.
But yeah, see, but for whatever reason, Ketone IQ was like, we dig the show and we're happy that we got to do some work with you, but the numbers just don't support renewing your contract. So I'm like, all right, well, fuck you. So now I have to pay for it. But and Mike Glover is actually friends with the guy that owns this company, and he's like, I have to fucking pay for it too.
Oh, damn.
But you know what, dude? The truth is, when your friends are doing cool shit, or people that you know are making a product that you respect, fucking A, let's actually spend money on and support
100%.
those companies.
So, always.
You know,
always.
I actually, have you ever bought a Montana knife company knife?
Oh, yeah.
So you know how once you buy a knife, you get text messages whenever they're, so I got a text message, I think it was a day or two ago, and it said their Fieldcraft edition is dropping at 7 p.m. And I clicked it. And there was still like, you know how they sell out almost as soon as they drop?
Quick, yeah.
And I got one.
Nice.
And I text Mike, I'm like, boom, got one this time.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, anyways, I want you to try this stuff.
Okay, cool.
Just be expecting it to taste, I think Joe Rogan says it tastes like you're blowing Godzilla. So
right. Fucking
yeah, exactly.
Fuck her up.
But
yeah, it's not great.
I'll tell you what though, you know how like a lot of things that kind of suck once you start to feel like it's actually working or the benefits of it starts to not suck as bad. And it gets to the point now where I actually crave having a shot of ketone IQ.
It's kind of like that BioPro, honestly. The first time you take 100%. It, it's like, did I just crack open a fucking battery and swallow the contents?
Yeah.
But now in the morning, it's like, oh, take my BioPro, and it's like, you kind of, I don't know. It's fucked up. It tastes good now.
Well, and if you miss it, you're kind of like, oh, damn it, I didn't go through that little morning ritual.
Yeah,
you
totally.
know?
Totally.
So anyways, you're not still nervous to do the show, are you?
No, man, it's cool. It's just you and me and a couple 100,000 listeners.
Oh, fuck. I wish I was getting a couple 100,000 downloads.
I don't know what the numbers are.
We're at like 7,000 an episode.
Oh, okay.
Which, in the world of podcasting, that's actually pretty exceptional. Oh, okay. And what I've learned is because there's a website called, I forget what it's called, but it rates podcasts based on how many downloads they get. And it says we're in the top 0.5% of shows on planet Earth.
Oh, damn.
With 7,000 downloads an episode. That doesn't sound...
Yeah, it doesn't sound
like a ton. You know, you got Joe Rogan getting, I think, 10 million an episode. But the thing is, there's so many shows out there that perform very, very, very low that if you have even like moderate success, you shoot right to the top.
Crazy.
So, bro, I'll take it.
Yeah, you know? Hell yeah, dude.
But no, I appreciate you spending time. I know we've talked about this for a month now or something.
Yeah.
And I've wanted to get an episode like this out, and you just happen to be the right person for it because you're just a cool dude, easy to talk to. But you came in the office the other day, and you were telling me like, bro, jiu-jitsu changed my life.
100%.
You know?
100%.
And anytime I hear that, you know, it's not surprising to me, but at the same time, each time I hear that, it's super powerful because I say it all the time. It's nothing that I've created. Someone showed me the magic, and now I have the ability to show other people the magic. Mm-hmm. And I know it sounds like a fucking cult. And for people that aren't familiar with it, probably hear us talking.
It is a fucking cult. But
it's a cult that benefits your fucking life.
100%. And yeah, you know, I say that sarcastically and kind of ha-ha, but I mean, yeah, it's been an incredible journey so far. I just passed the 6-month mark.
Okay.
6 months in, and dude, it's not what I was expecting it was, and it's so much more.
So we met when Mike Glover was in town teaching. Was it rifle course, right? Yeah.
Actually,
Or you did both.
No, I did both. I came to the pistol course in September, I think it was September, October, and then I came back for the carbine.
That's right.
It was so fucking awesome.
And Mike said at the end of training, he's like, Greg's gym is right up the street, and if you're not training there, you're wrong.
You need to get there.
You need to get there.
And I mean, I'm a consumer of all the big podcasts. I've been listening to Jocko and Andy Stump and Rogan for a long time, and everyone talks about jiu-jitsu, and I knew what it was. I enjoy UFC and watching dudes fight, and in the back of my mind, I was like, man, I need to get in there and do something like that, and I would like to experience jiu-jitsu, and that class had gone by, and then actually it was at the conclusion of the rifle training when we were all out there and ate mud for 5 minutes straight.
Oh yeah.
And afterwards, it was actually you were standing there, and when you said this, it felt like you were looking right at me and into my fucking soul.
I hope that I was.
Yeah. And you had fucking mud running down the front of your face, and we had all just got done a heavy day on the range, and you were looking at everyone and you said, you all came out here today and you showed that you have the grit and endurance and you're proficient with a firearm and you want to learn, you want to train. You said, what happens when you don't have that tool at your disposal? What happens when that distance is no longer there?
Yeah.
And when you said that, you looked right at me and I was like, fuck, all right. And I've kind of been chatting with Tobin a little bit. He was range safety officer there, and him and I were kind of rubbing shoulders and talking. And he was like, yeah, come on out, check it out. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to do this. But then I started giving myself one excuse after the other.
Well, I mean, the excuses are just like a natural thought process.
Yeah.
What could I possibly come up with to not go to training?
100%.
And bro,
I did that for 2 more months.
I'm curious, what were some of the things going through your brain that's like, I don't need to go in there?
It was just kind of life things, one after the other. But really, I think it was knowing that it's going to be hard, and I didn't want to suck at something again.
Yeah.
And, it was no good excuse, really, just a bunch of bullshit in my head.
Isn't that always what keeps us from accomplishing what we need to accomplish, though?
100%. And it's the exact same thing you do on days you don't want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm tired. I got this. I need to spend time with the family. I worked a long day. It's been a long week, blah, blah, blah. And that, if you don't sit down and commit to something, if you don't start something, you're never going to do it.
Yeah.
And I just got, tired of procrastinating, give myself excuses. And finally I was like, dude, I need to go in there and fucking check it out. So,
and bro, you're as young as you're ever going to be right now.
100%.
And the one thing that I consistently hear from nearly 100% of people that have decided to jump into jiu-jitsu is, fuck, I wish I started when I was younger.
That's my only regret.
You know what I'm saying?
My only regret. Yeah. I roll with some of our dudes in here and it's like, God damn it, dude. I wish I'd started this when I was 22.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But at the end of the day, like, life happens and you fucking started now.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to see not just you, but like a lot of the gym has different generations of people, right? Yeah. Like we had what we called the white belt mafia. And that is right when the gym blew up after the video and all the COVID bullshit. The gym caught a lot of momentum after that. And we got like tons of white belts. And now all those white belts are blue belts, like the Skylar and Zach and Easton, like Kyle, Brett, all that generation of people was like when the gym initially blew up. And then, they all got promoted and now they're the blue belt mafia. And we have this new wave of white belts. It's like you and Josh and Kevin and Nick and Dan and all these dudes that are like, they are fighters and they are savages. They're just, I should say were relatively untrained.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we have a whole army of people that they have the physicality, they have the mental toughness, and now they're just showing up, putting in the work and gaining the skills.
Yeah.
And it's a fucking dangerous group of humans.
It
man.
really fucking is, man. I come in here every night and I'm so fucking excited to get here. And every night that I show up, I'm like, sorry. every night that I show up, I'm stoked to be here, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna go in here and fucking just get after it. And as soon as you walk in and you make eye contact with everyone, all that goes immediately away, and you're like, oh fuck, I just got to survive.
Yeah.
We got a hard group of motherfuckers in here, and I love it.
That first night when you said, okay, excuses are done, I'm gonna show up and see what this is all about. Talk me through that, because I know I don't care how tough you are or what you've been through. Like that's intimidating.
100%.
Because I've been there a couple times, even as a brown belt starting at a new gym. Like there's nerves walking into a room of people that you know are going to put their hands on you.
Yeah. I didn't know quite what to expect. Being Oliver, my kid, I brought him along. And when I say kid, he's 16 years old and he's 6'5" and jacked, 200 pounds of lean, jacked muscle. He looks like he's 20 years old, but
he's a scary kid.
Yeah. I'm doing this to keep up with him, honestly.
Bro,
like, clean your room, please.
Yeah. I say it all the time, man. If your son can beat the crap out of you,
it's a problem.
The house is out of alignment.
Yeah.
Right. And here's the thing, man. Like you can, obviously you need to be the fucking man of the house. But it's not even that if you can kick his ass or not. It's that if you share this energy here and know each other intimately here and
100%.
have that understanding of each other's physicality here, it's unlikely it'll ever come to that at the house.
No, absolutely not. And it's been an amazing bonding experience for the two of us. Like, he's an outdoorsy kid. We go hiking and camping and shit together, but this is 100% forged our relationship.
Did he wrestle or anything growing up?
So his biological dad is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So Oliver actually grew up on the mat.
So, okay.
Yeah.
That actually makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Because
that's why he
the way he
inverts
moves
and wraps you up in a triangle.
Yeah.
So, he's not a white belt.
Did he never like really fully jump in?
No, he never formally trained. It was like dad was on the mats all the time. So he was too. And then,
yeah,
like unofficially was training.
Well, it's very apparent, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking kid's a savage, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
did he come on night one with you? Did you guys show? Okay.
Yep. So the two of us pull up and, I was kind of nervous, but excited. And he's just like, yeah, okay, let's go inside and do this, whatever, and I walk up and I didn't know really where to go because we weren't downstairs yet. The CrossFit was here.
So you
right. So
you're one of the old school guys now.
Yeah, I was started upstairs.
Yeah.
Man, and I love that I get to say that.
You can say back when it was hard.
Back when it was fucking hard. We were smashing into each other against the wall and falling down, and there's someone underneath, a couple underneath you rolling around. But so didn't know quite where to go. Found the back door there, and Dan and Skylar and a couple of the blue belts were back there hanging out. I was like, hey, I'm looking for the jiu-jitsu gym. And they looked at me like I was a fucking snack. And I'm like, oh, it's upstairs. Come on in, buddy. I was like, all right, cool. And I walk inside and the kids class was going on. So we were kind of hanging out downstairs and just waited to walk up into the mat room. And man, you were super inviting and saw Tobin and got some loner geese and everything. And I was like, okay, what the fuck are we doing? And we just went right into it. There's no white belt 101 yet or anything.
Yeah.
I think we were doing back chokes or something at the time. And
okay.
I just partnered up with someone and sat down and fucking got after it.
Dude, it's so awesome, man.
And it was nervous, but exciting. And then I immediately was hooked. I mean, I remember before class, I was like, hey, so do we sign up? How do we do this? And you're like, oh, I'm kind of a shitty businessman. My wife hates it because I just want people to come train. Yeah. And we'll worry about membership later. And I was like, okay, well, whatever, man. That's cool.
Well, I'll tell you this. I always say that, and it's half joking. Like, I'm a great coach, but I'm a shitty businessman.
Yeah.
But there's a lot. If you look at like, some of the local gyms, especially like global gyms, like LA Fitness and those type of places.
Yeah.
If you read their Yelp reviews, the overwhelming complaint the customers have is contract issues.
Yeah.
Or like I signed up and they
with
drafted
big gyms.
this and and then I tried to cancel and they wouldn't. So one thing I've always tried to say is like I make the gym very easy to join and very easy to quit.
And that was very attractive too.
Yeah, because I don't want people here. And the reason I also say like, because I have guys come in here, they're like, dude, I want to fucking do jiu-jitsu. I want to fucking sign up. I want to fight the UFC. Like every once in a while you get some dude that's just like, slow the fuck down.
Right.
Let's let you get choked for a couple days and see how you do then. Because I would rather, you know, this gym has a pretty uncanny ability to make people that don't fit our vibe see their way out
100%
without even having to ask them.
100%.
And so I would rather let them train for a week or two and then
let nature take its course.
If you still want to be part of this gym after, you know, 5, 6, 7 training sessions, we're probably congruent. And that's why I do that. And a lot of people say like, that, you know, like you never want to turn down fucking money. Never want to turn down a sale. And I get that too. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a livelihood. This is a business.
Right.
But I feel like I've found a good business model where the gym is profitable. It's doing well, but I'm also only tailoring the gym to a certain kind of people. Mm-hmm. And that just is what it is, you know?
And it definitely attracts a certain mindset of people here.
And when I say a certain kind of people, I don't mean like, oh, a conservative or like any political or religious or sexual orientation. Like, I don't give a fuck about any of that. What I give a fuck about is the people that I want this gym to attract are people that want to show up, be kind to each other, put in hard work, and be on the path of personal excellence.
Honestly,
that's it, man.
And you definitely put out that vibe, and that's what really sold it to me too, is meeting everyone else on the team and starting to get to know people here. It's like, dude, you guys are all into the same shit that I'm into. Everyone here is, you know, into being self-reliant and you know, being able to take care of yourself, and it's just a rad vibe.
And bro, if you don't have that vibe, like, I mean, people can live however they want to live, but if you don't have that in the back of your mind, I think you're not being completely honest with yourself in today's world.
Right.
And so like, I think inevitably, like if we share that vibe or this gym attracts that vibe, what it does is it's attracting people that are rooted in reality
100%.
More than anything. And dude, I'm kind of, I'm in a bubble because this is literally who I interact with day in and day out, personally and professionally. This is my circle. Whereas like Danny, for instance, you know, new white belt Danny who just did Guns and Geese.
Yep.
He told me when he came here, he's like, fuck man, I think he lived here for a year or two. And he's like, I haven't found a group of people that's fucking like just a cool group of people yet until I came here.
100%.
And then I forget that for a lot of people, they might not have a good circle or having a hard time connecting with people.
This day and age, I think that's more common and common.
Yeah.
You know, I think everything that we've all gone through in the last couple of years, and you know, we can go down that rabbit hole if you want, but I think that was a lot of it was by design to separate people. Bro, I know my circle got smaller.
Yeah.
You know,
and for anyone that thinks like, put your tinfoil hat on, you're a conspiracy theorist, right? It's like, actually just look at what happened.
It's not.
Detach yourself emotionally, detach yourself from your political ideology. Like when I started seeing things that weren't making sense, bro, it had nothing to do with like that I hold conservative values or that I typically tend to vote Republican. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with right and wrong. And I was seeing things that were like, this just, especially like obviously the video and everything, I spoke about my opinions from a law enforcement perspective, but just a citizen perspective. It has nothing to do with where you stand on things politically. It's like there are people that are doing things right now that I can just tell they're
up to no good.
They're being deceitful.
Yeah.
They're being untrustworthy and they're trying to manipulate me.
And they're people that we decided to put in charge too. And that's what they fucking forget. It's like, you work for us, motherfuckers.
Well, bro, they've all forgot that.
Yeah.
Every fucking single one of them have forgot that. And now, not only have they forgot that, it's went the complete other way where we're the peasants now.
Yeah.
They look at us as like
subjects.
They just tax the shit out of us. and fly around in their private jets like John
Really
Kerry.
You're gonna get me fucking
No,
fired up.
let's get fired up, bro. Because that's the truth. Fucking John Kerry, you hear he got called out in a congressional hearing last week, and they're like, "Hey, you're pushing all this like green agenda shit, but you fly around a private jet." I've never owned a private jet. I don't fly in private jets. Just all smug and lying through his fucking teeth.
All of them do it.
And it's like, and then you know what he said? Like someone called him out on it. It's like, well, actually, we have documentation here that the Kerry family jet was actually just sold to blah, blah, blah for this much money. He goes, well, my wife owned that.
Priceless.
Oh, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like no one's rooted in integrity or just like truth anymore. Like, bro, if your fucking wife owns something, guess what that means in this society?
Yeah.
You know?
It's the same shit with the Pelosi's and the fucking day trading.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
like, wait a goddamn minute here. What's going on? And you know what's fucked up about it is we all see this and we talk about it,
and we don't
but nothing gets done.
We don't do anything. Bro, that's because, I think it was Thomas Jefferson that said, when the government fears its people, you have liberty. When the people fear their government, you have tyranny. Right now, the majority of the people fear our government.
100%.
I mean, dude, if you don't fucking pay us 60% of your wages, we're going to put you in jail. If you don't do this, we're going to put you in jail. If you don't do that, we're going to put you in jail.
It's like we get our life for extortion.
100%, bro.
But it's also Stockholm syndrome because we're still doing it.
We're still doing it, bro.
It's an abusive relationship that we can't get out of.
100%, bro. And the thing is, like, you know, like, oh, you can't say this on your podcast, but yes, I can, because it's history. Read a fucking book. What happens when people subjugate people long enough? People get fed up, and then they rise up, and then there's a fucking rebellion, and then we fucking start over. Everything gets burned to the ground, and then we start over. And I'm not saying that's going to happen right now. It very well could. I mean, we're to the point where it's not unreasonable to think that when you got all these cocksuckers in DC living like fucking modern day royalty, telling us what to do. And I think we'll see something in our lifetime. I think we'll see something dramatic in our lifetime. And it's fucking, dude, it's what human beings do.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
And like you said, I'm kind of a history nerd too. And this repeats itself again and again through the history of mankind. Exactly what 100%. You said. And I live a relatively comfortable life. I don't want to have to go all fucking Mad Max and shit out there, but there may come a day when that does happen. And unfortunately, it could be in our children's lifetime, which makes me even fucking sadder.
This is that's one of the reasons why, you know, on any given day, ask me how I feel. And sometimes I'm like, it's time for it's time to overthrow the government today.
Right.
And then on other days, I'm like, just like you said, I live a pretty comfortable life. I teach jiu-jitsu. My kids go to a nice school. I live in a nice house. Life is pretty good.
Life is good. Yeah.
And so I've come to the conclusion, I've talked about it on the show a lot. If stuff goes to shit and we live in a Mad Max fucking post-apocalyptic America, good. Like Jocko said, good. Because that will be a life worth living. That'll be exciting. We'll get to really be part of a massively transformational period of American history. And how fucking rad would that be?
Yeah.
Right. But then the other side of it is if things kind of simmer down and maybe we end up voting some good people in that can make like good policy changes, and we can take the trajectory of our country and change it without any violence or without any fucking problems. Also good. Right?
I think the biggest challenge though is it's death by 1,000 cuts.
Oh, I know.
Like we've seen this, and everyone talks about this and they just chip away. And in our lifetime, it's like, well, it's this little thing here, little thing here, little thing here. But look at how far things have changed from when you and I were kids.
Oh, I know. I know.
Culturally, laws in this country, how our country's ran.
Yep.
I mean,
all the anti-2A stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's
all
crazy.
the fucking taxes, death taxes. Oh, hey, if you die and you want to give your shit to your children, we get a cut of it.
Oh, dude, don't even get me going. I was
like, bro, that should literally be like, that's worth rebelling over right there.
100%.
Like, I built
we dumped tea into a fucking harbor over a 3% tax. Yeah. Yeah. It's fucking crazy, man.
And dude, it'll happen. And the interesting thing about this is all the people that are, and the reason I'm not afraid to talk about this shit publicly is because the US government doesn't have the capacity to instill fear in me.
No.
Right? The fucking men that wear suits and make policy are fucking cowards and fucking bitches. That's the truth. You don't like me saying that? Come and fucking do something about it. You're fucking cowards. And I've been in war for a decade of my life. War doesn't scare me either. Men shooting at me doesn't scare me. I'm not saying that to be tough. I'm saying that because that was my life for a really long time. And you know what? It was actually pretty fun. So if you guys want to get fucking stupid, then there's a lot of people out here that can get stupider, that aren't intimidated by your bullshit.
Yeah.
And so I just think that it's inevitable. My biggest fear is that it doesn't kick off until I'm 75.
100%.
And my hip just went out.
Fucking decrepit and shit.
So, you know, and I'll be like, oh, carry me to a sniper hide.
Right.
Listen. And they'll be like, old man, you stay right there. You're no good to us.
God
you know?
damn it. Yeah.
But fuck, man, that's, I go back and forth on it because I think we all know that we need a reset.
Yeah.
I think we know that,
Yeah.
right? When you got fucking men like Gavin Newsom and Justin Trudeau and the Pelosi's and the Bidens and all these motherfuckers, dude, that just live this life however the fuck they want. They don't answer to anybody. They're breaking all the laws and they're not even covert about it anymore.
No.
You know, like,
no, they're absolutely blatant about it. And
Yeah.
that's what's infuriating to me now.
And
too.
no one
It's
does
like they're not
anything.
even trying to fucking hide it. Or
You
it's
know?
like, yeah, every week you see some headline that's like so-and-so got caught doing. Can we talk about the cocaine that was found in the fucking White House?
Bro.
Jesus fucking Christ. That place probably has more cameras than anywhere on earth.
So let me tell you a little story.
Like, what the fuck?
I was in Mexico on a fucking, on a boat trip. Like we go to Mexico once a year with our friends. We were literally out on a fucking boat taking a tour around fucking Cabo, looking at whales and shit.
Hell yeah.
And I get a text message and someone said, hey, I set a bracelet down at the gym while I worked out and it was fucking gone when I went back there. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, dude, we have a good group of people here.
Yeah.
And there's a part of me that's like, I can't believe that someone at this gym would steal somebody's bracelet.
Yeah.
Right? It just doesn't make sense.
No,
And especially like, dude, we'll fucking kill you.
100%.
You get caught stealing from someone here,
Yeah.
you're going to get drugged
That'd be
out.
the worst day of your fucking life.
And so what I do, I'm on my phone out in the fucking ocean. I pull up my security camera. I start scrolling. I said, what time did you set it down? And sure as shit, I saw her set it down at like 5:30 or whatever it was. So I just started watching it and speeding it up and speeding it up. And then I watched two little kids walk up and I know both these little kids. One of them trains jujitsu with me.
Oh no.
And I saw them grab the bracelet.
Ah.
And so I text both of their dads a picture of a screenshot. And of course the girls both tried to blame each other and there was but it was little kid shit. Guess what? I had that bracelet back in about fucking 30 minutes.
Right.
That's just a fucking jiu-jitsu gym in Lake Stevens with 5 cameras.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
I know. What the fuck?
You know, don't like, I think the Secret Service is like, well, we've decided to close this investigation just due to lack of evidence or whatever. Just say the truth. I'm a fucking coward pussy.
Right.
My bosses dictate my morality.
Boss told me that this needs to go away.
I do what I'm told over doing what's morally and ethically correct.
Dude,
just say what it is, because that's what it is.
And honestly, that's where I'm at. Like, I'm so perplexed by all the shit that goes on because I know our government, our military, our police force, it's everyday people. It's dudes like you and me that are just going to work, doing their fucking job. But at the end of the day, you have to have that internal fortitude to do what's fucking right. And it's like,
bro, they're all afraid.
I know. Stop being a fucking pussy.
It's like, you're the toughest motherfuckers in the world.
Dude.
Why are you afraid? Why are you afraid?
It's that pension and 401k.
Fuck a pension,
and fucking,
dude.
No, that's what it is. Human beings are inherently fucking lazy, I think. And they don't like adversity.
100%.
And they don't.
They're not microdosing their adversity.
No,
they're not doing jiu-jitsu.
No, they're not getting that fucking ice bath every day.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And they just don't have the moral courage to do what's right because they don't want to put themselves or their family in jeopardy.
And they convince themselves in their mind that they're taking the high road.
Yeah.
You know, I got 3 kids at home, and
But
they're
is
my
that the high road?
priority.
I think it's
I think it's
me
the low
personally,
road.
100%.
Bro, I said that all the time.
100%.
Bro, when my video went viral and a lot of my friends and my coworkers like, Greg, what the fuck are you doing, bro? You got 3 little girls at home. What are you doing?
Dude, by the way, when your video went viral, I saw it the day you put it out.
Hell yeah, dude.
Because, you know, we're in the middle of all that COVID shit.
Yeah.
And I was immediately like, fuck this shit. This shit is not fucking right. At the kitchen table, this riled up, and the wife is like, oh, fuck. And I saw your video. I was like, look at this shit. This is a fucking local cop saying exactly what needed to be fucking said.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Anyways,
no, that makes me happy to hear because that's the truth. And everybody knew it was the truth, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of my coworkers, they're like, Greg, you got 3 little kids at home. And I said, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, exactly.
I'm setting a fucking example.
That's why I'm saying what I'm saying, because I believe that the most important thing is the future for our children. And if we just bend our fucking knee and fucking let these motherfuckers put their boot on the back of our neck,
then what?
because I don't want to risk my pension, what future am I setting up for them? But more importantly, what example am I showing?
Well,
you know what I mean?
That end, they have to live in the same ecosystem we fucking live in.
Yeah.
And getting back to what I said earlier, death by 1,000 cuts, it's like you're a part of the fucking problem if you're complacent with it and you're not speaking up against things. Your kids have to live in the fucking world that you're going to leave behind.
Yeah.
So is it short-term comfort that you're taking over long-term longevity? You know what I mean? Like they're worried about their house payment and their car payment. And it's like, dude, what about leaving a free country for your children to live in?
And bro, like
or their children,
a house payment, all that is just like a social construct that is
anyways.
fucking forced us to become modern day slaves.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
I've said for years, they replaced the whip with a fucking
With a
pension,
mortgage.
with a mortgage and a pension.
Yeah.
And now you're a slave to the system.
Yep.
And it's, you know, I've seen men that show no fear in the face of battle. Like dudes in Ramadi that were like, fucking, we're getting shot at or getting fucking blown up. Like, let's go. I don't give a fuck. Let's get it
Fucking
on.
warriors.
You know? And then those same men, when, you know, we had some contract issues. Because, I mean, the contracting days were fucking fun and they were wild, but they were also new. And there was a lot of weird shit going on. And I saw those same men at times when their paycheck got threatened. Oh, well, you know, like, for example, there was a contract when one of my buddies shot a dude. Or no, we had gotten in so many engagements that they said, the next shooting you're in, somebody's going home because it appears you guys are being cowboys out there. And we're like, we're in Ramadi and it's 04. Come out and see if we're being fucking cowboys. And so sure as shit, we got in a shooting and they said, okay, we told you the next shooting, someone's getting sent home. I said, if you send anyone home for that shooting, we're all going home. Fuck you. Right? Like,
Yeah.
we're not out here being cowboys. I mean, it's fun and it's wild, but this is
We're in a fucking war
a
zone.
two-way range.
Right.
Make no mistake about it. Look at our cars. Like our cars are riddled with fucking bullet holes. This isn't just a fucking movie set. And they ended up telling a guy that he had to leave the contract because he got in a shooting. And I said, all right, send me home too. And then I left.
Damn.
And a lot of the guys on the team said the same thing. Like, oh, they send Dave home. I'm fucking out of here too. And then when the rubber met the road, well, you know, like my house and this, my truck payment and that. And it's like, guys, we fucking kill people for a living and you're worried about a truck payment. It just doesn't make sense to me, dude.
Right.
You know, what was funny is, so right after that happened, the contract got lost because those contracts go up for bid.
Right.
And I worked for Triple Canopy. Blackwater won the contract. I think it was 06, maybe 05, 06. Blackwater took over the Ramadi contract. And the Blackwater leadership was saying the same shit. We got more incident reports coming out of Ramadi than the whole country combined. What the fuck's going on out there? So the head guy, the in-country manager, not Eric Prince, not the owner of Blackwater,
Right.
but the head in-country guy, we said, hey, come out. Because when Blackwater won that contract, they said, if you want to be out here, come back and show us the ropes. So a couple of us TC guys went out there and like kind of showed them the ropes of Ramadi. And the head Blackwater guy came out there. And as we're pulling into our first venue, a fucking masked gunman jumps out of an alley and just rakes his fucking car. And I remember I told my shift leader after that, I was like, bro, did you plan that? Because that was too perfect. That was too perfect, right? And he goes, get me the fuck out of this city and I won't ever question you guys again.
Oh my God.
We're like, bro, that's just a day in Ramadi. Don't act afraid, you know? But yeah, but to go back to what even brought me on that fucking subject is like, really tough, capable, savage men, when you threaten their livelihood, something fucking breaks in them a lot. The same thing with the police force and the professional law enforcement. I've said it literally a million times on the show. Behind closed doors, every cop I know was appalled by the COVID mandates. Every single one. I've yet to meet a cop, or maybe they just didn't want to voice it to me because I'd be like, what the fuck? You know? But every cop I know is like, dude, this is nuts. We have no business. This is outside of the scope of our job. We don't have the authority to do this. But then literally, I think it was like me and 2 other cops in the whole pandemic spoke out and all 3 of us got fired.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know?
Yeah. You know, thankfully at least I really never heard or saw anything locally that was like law enforcement going into places and fucking with citizens or business owners. It ended up being the labor industry folks and the state thugs got in there that way. But
we lucked out, especially in Snohomish County. And I honestly think Adam Fortney is a big reason for that.
Shout out Fortney.
He wasn't down with all the bullshit, you know? And bro, I put a lot of weight on that. That's why I have a giant Adam Fortney sign in the yard, because if we had some liberal fucking pussy in there,
dude, if we were in King County,
hey, that jujitsu gym said they're going to defy the lockdowns. I want the sheriff's department to go shut them down. I wouldn't be alive anymore.
Right.
And that's not me fucking pumping my chest up and acting like a badass. I made a mental commitment that if any man tries to shut my business down, I don't care who you are. I don't care what authority you tell me you have. You and I have to fight to the death.
100%.
And bro, we know how that goes. It starts with a fucking patrol officer, and I tell you to get the fuck out of here. And I was planning on taking them into custody and handcuffing them with their own handcuffs and just leaving them out in the lawn.
That'd be sick.
You know, like. And then the funny thing is like, bro, how many cops do we have training on the mats every night?
A lot.
You know,
several.
There's a lot of cops here. Yeah. You know, we're a police law enforcement friendly facility. Until you try and fucking use your authority, a corrupt authority, to shut me down, now you're my enemy. And if that were to happen, then that was where bro, I would take my body armor and my rifle to practice, kiss my wife goodbye, and it felt like I was going on deployment sometimes.
Dude,
that feeling,
pandemic was crazy.
That feeling like, I don't know if I'll come home from this one. And it's a heavy feeling. And I was feeling it going to teach jujitsu in my own community. You know,
none of us knew what was fucking happening. Like, so I'm a land surveyor by trade. And
what does that mean exactly?
So first of all, we're the goofy guys in the middle of the road with a tripod and the total station setup. Everyone thinks it's a camera. Basically, I draw topographical maps and resolve boundaries, people's property lines.
Okay.
Major property lines. But anything that's built uses a surveyor to tell them where to place things. My specialty is commercial construction. So I build mid-rise, high-rise buildings, roads, bridges, shit like that.
Okay.
And when the pandemic first hit and Inslee was supposed to announce everything getting shut down, I'm on this giant construction site. We're pouring concrete, steel workers, and we all gathered in the parking lot. And I mean, these are blue collar men's men on these fucking jobs. There's some women there too, but these are tattooed, grizzled, blue collar, hardworking, motherfuckers on a job site. Type of people that you don't tell put a fucking mask on. and we all gathered around the trucks at 3 p.m. in the parking lot. Everyone had Cairo radio cranked up because we were expecting the governor to make an announcement. And we're all like, dude, there's no way he's going to shut down construction. Like, we're outside working, and even early on, everyone that I was talking to, it's like, where's the body count? they're saying that this shit is this fucking deadly and it's already spread across the world. Like it.
Remember when they're like, Kirkland, Washington's the first case.
Actually, I think it was Everett.
Or was it Everett?
Everett was fucking patient zero, dude. No, and we're all standing around and they make the announcement, and I've never seen so many dudes pissed off in one place at once. And I was like, this is fucking bullshit. What kind of fucking bullshit is this? And everyone's like, all right, it's just 2 weeks. Everyone go home, take time with your family and we'll figure this out. And then, 1 week, 2 weeks went by. And where I'm going with this is in the middle of a construction project, like when they're digging a big building or a footing or they're moving a lot of dirt, a surveyor's job, we got these monitors that we set up to make sure that the hillsides and roadways and shit isn't moving. So they deem that essential, like pretty quickly. They're like, well, we don't want any buildings or shit falling down. So you guys go do this, right? And it was kind of a trip. I got combinations to locks and keys to these massive job sites, and I was the only motherfucker in there. And it was really weird. Like places that are loud and dangerous, all of a sudden they're ghost town. You just hear the wind blowing through. So that shit was really eerie. And then I'm driving around, there's fucking no one on the roads.
Bro,
It was like I'd see cops and that was it.
Yep.
And they would be looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing?
Dude,
And,
I was
same thing. Like I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but I was driving around with fucking body armor and my go bag.
Why would you get in trouble for that? Bro, like you don't fucking know. Is this going into the fucking like
we
apocalypse or something?
Right? Yeah. And it wasn't even the virus that I was worried about. It's what
how are people going to start
society about to fucking do?
And do the same thing. I mean, I was a fucking police officer downtown Seattle. Like my jurisdiction more often than not went from anywhere from SeaTac Airport all the way up to Shilshole Marina. Do you know where that's at?
Yeah. Yep.
And man, like Pier 66 and Terminal Island and all these like downtown properties. So I would be driving downtown Seattle daily because I'd work the waterfront position very often because it was our farthest north jurisdiction. And because I live north, I'd always try and fill that billet.
Yeah.
So, dude, I was driving around downtown Seattle. I got pictures and videos. I'm the only motherfucker.
Yeah.
The only motherfucker. And it's like down by the big Ferris wheel and
where it's usually
like
shoulder to shoulder with people.
Just zero people. It felt like a fucking movie. Dude.
Yeah.
Like 28 days
dude,
later.
For real, dude.
You know?
It was nuts.
And it was cool though, too. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it was fucked up what the government did is shutting down our society. And I don't think they had the authority to do that, nor did they have the data to support that was the good choice.
No.
You know, like quarantine your sick, like, and protect your vulnerable. And I'm a fucking knuckle dragging ranger. And that's like, well, why should healthy motherfuckers that aren't at risk of this, why should we all be playing by these rules too? It didn't make sense to me from the beginning. That's why I spoke up, you know? And it was funny because like when I did speak up, all the fucking ass kissers that just follow all these political elitists with their nose up their ass, like, ooh, like Fauci's a fucking god.
Right.
That's exactly what they started attacking me for. They're like,
dude, I was there too.
Your Instagram is just you fucking swinging kettlebells around, and now you want to tell people about public health. And it's
that's how they did it. They unless you had some medical credentials, just because you had a different opinion about anything, you're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. They would discredit you. I mean, I was kind of the social outcast from my friend group because I was like, you guys, this is not what they're fucking telling us this is. This is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And they're like, whatever, you're just a white dude, lives out in the woods with too many guns. You need to fucking calm down.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and guess what? That white dude that lives in the woods with too many guns, if the needle had tipped just a little further, they'd be knocking on your door, begging you for fucking help. You know? Hey, Anthony, can you teach me how to dress a deer?
Oh, dude.
Like Rogan said it. He actually said it on the episode with Glover where he literally was talking about it and he goes, you know, like that Greg Anderson guy always says, no one's coming to save you.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
He goes, when the pandemic started getting weird, a lot of my friends that were anti-gun
were asking to borrow guns.
We're asking for guns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, all you motherfuckers out there that could see, like if you're a fucking radical left-wing anti-gun liberal and you can see the trajectory that society is going to a point where it makes you feel so uncomfortable, it's like, maybe I do need a gun.
Yeah, you're crossing your own social beliefs to now pursue something that you were
Then embrace
chastising others for it.
Then embrace that.
And that should have been a wake up call for people too. I saw this on social media pretty frequently. People in comments on various things like, "Oh, I'm trying to buy a gun to protect my family, and the paperwork is ridiculous, and I can't, and this and that and the other." It's yeah, motherfuckers, you help vote to make it that way.
Yep.
Like, especially in this state now, it's.
And you want to know what's funny too?
By 1,000 cuts.
All these motherfuckers that like they don't realize. I have a fucking 100 guns. I have the nicest guns money can buy, as I'm sure you do too.
I got a couple.
You know, and you take like a fucking Geisley with a fucking IR laser and like all the shit, right? You give it to someone that is never trained, it's not much different than handing them a paperweight.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
I tell people, it's like me giving you a gun and thinking you can protect yourself with it is almost the same as me handing you my jiu-jitsu key and my black belt.
Here you go.
And thinking that you can now grapple.
Yeah, it's not a downloadable skill set.
Bro. Like shoot, move, and communicate. Using that tool as a tool to protect yourself or others, or actually engage enemy combatants. That's it's a
skill set you have to learn.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of fucking work. And it's perishable too.
100%, dude.
I mean, I don't get out on the range as frequently as I would like to. And yesterday me and my brother and Oliver were up shooting, and we were running drills for time. And it's like, fuck, dude, I'm rusty. And I shoot way more than your average person. Probably.
Well, bro, and like you can't. Just the reality of like how much ammo cost and how much time we have and shit.
Yeah.
Because like last weekend, I was hitting out to 106 meters with my Glock. And one of the students said, dude, do you come out here and shoot like every single day? And I go, bro, I haven't shot in probably 4 months.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just the truth. I haven't, right? So, I mean, it is perishable, but at the same time, like if you really take the time to hone those fundamentals, they're going to be in there still.
True. I mean, yeah, it's like riding a bike, I guess, but.
Yeah. What got you into like guns and tactics and outdoor shit and hunting and all that? Has that been your lifestyle since you were a little kid?
Pretty much, dude. I grew up and I was the nerdy little kid in the neighborhood. I was obsessed with war and history and all that shit. Growing up, I was always playing in the backyard and fucking camis, or I was either playing army or had a coonskin cap on playing Mountain Man. And that was our life growing up.
The day I met you, you were full cammied up with Sitka gear.
I wore normal clothes underneath it. That was my rain gear because I knew what was fucking coming.
No, but I knew as soon as I saw you, I was like, oh, this dude's my homie, because I have all that same gear.
Yeah, man. I honestly, growing up, I thought I was going to go into the military, and life took some different turns. I ended up not pursuing that, and I have some regret over that. But
how old are you?
Just turned 39.
Okay, so we're roughly the same age then.
Yeah.
So you were what, a freshman or junior when 9/11 happened?
Yeah, I was 16 years old.
Okay.
And I remember I had been gone at some friend's house, and I remember coming home, and mom was doing dishes in the kitchen, and we had the news on, and I watched the planes go into the tower. And I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is happening? And by the time I was 18, our country was at war.
Yeah.
And I thought that's something I was going to pursue. And like I said, life took me another direction. But yeah, I was always.
Bro, you can't have regrets over that, though.
Yeah.
I hear that very often. And it's because people express that to me because I did get to experience the wars, right?
Man, it's not. Yeah, I hear people say that, though, too. And it's not like I have regrets because I didn't get to do any cool shit like jump out of planes and shoot bad guys in the face. I mean, that sounds super fun. But like more so my sense of, I don't know if this is antiquated or not, but duty and honor to our society. And, I believe in giving back. And I kind of kicked myself for sitting out on over a decade of war. Well, friends of mine went and did that. But,
and the thing is, it's like, I mean, when I joined to go do those things, and I actually joined, I was in the Ranger Regiment on 9/11 already.
Right.
I joined a Ranger Regiment in peacetime, but I also joined with the understanding of like, this unit is the spearhead. Like if anything happens, we're fucking going. And that excited me because you do want to give back to your country. You do want to have like a sense of duty and honor. But now when we look back on it all, I don't know the fucking U.S. government a goddamn thing, and neither does anybody else.
And if we really want to go deep on it, a lot of that fucking war was bullshit.
Bullshit, dude.
Bullshit lies sold to all of us.
I gave a decade of my life to that.
Yeah. And look how they treat you now.
And I think it was for fucking bullshit.
I had a very good friend and mentor of mine who also gave his entire adult life to the military. And he came home and ended up succumbing to PTS.
Yeah.
It was, you know.
Bro, from 18 to 29, I mean, 18 I joined, 21 to 29, I was deployed probably half the year of every year.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a long time gone.
Yeah, like when you put it all together, I was boots on the ground in either Iraq or Afghanistan for a combined total of almost 5 years.
Damn.
And I look back on it now because they did a great job. Be all you can be. And like, you know, like all the shit that appeals.
The recruitment stuff, even our pop culture at the time, you know, I mean, post 9/11, that was pretty fucking cool to see though. I mean, everyone united and like in my lifetime, I've never experienced anything like that since.
And I wish that we could have that kind of unity, but towards a real enemy. Because like
just a real legit purpose.
Yeah.
You know,
because like Saddam was not our enemy, not to the point where we needed to fucking do what we did.
Everything I've read, it seems like he was a legit bad guy. He was a piece of shit.
Yeah, of
for
course.
Sure. But was it worth the American lives and treasure that we spent towards getting rid of them?
Or the Iraqi lives.
Yeah.
Like, 100%. You know how many fucking Iraqi civilians and Afghan civilians got killed in this?
Well, and
what did it really do?
It bred more wars.
It bred a lot more wars.
Because
the rise of ISIS.
100%.
You know?
Like you've said before, it's like if some invading army was in my backyard.
Oh, bro.
Dude.
We're going to fucking have an IED making class tomorrow.
Right.
And then operations start fucking Tuesday morning.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100% doing the same shit.
I don't give a fuck who they are, what they're here for.
Right.
I don't care if they have a fucking, like the Chinese fucking army helmet on or the blue UN helmet on.
Helmets.
You motherfuckers are in my backyard in your tanks telling me where to go or what to do. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And so like the older I get, the more I look back on the wars, and it's like, and here's the weird thing about it is if I could go back and change it, I wouldn't. Yeah. Because even though I know now that the wars weren't necessarily being sold for what they were, it also grew me into this fucking person that I am today. And I think I needed to be exposed to massive amounts of violence and massive amounts of adversity and tragedy to be able to be comfortable who I am today.
100%.
And that path was just something that allowed me to become that person. But also like, you know, you take the American politics out of it. You take the Islamic like jihadist mentality out of it. At the end of the day, it was groups of 20-year-old kids that wanted to fight each other. You know? Because like, dude, the fucking guys in Ramadi were from Yemen and Syria and fucking Saudi Arabia. They were
just coming to get some.
They were called to jihad, bro.
Fuck.
And it's like at the time I hated them. I was just like, God, I want to fucking kill all of them. But now 20 years later, it's like they were actually pretty badass.
Yeah.
Like I don't care how good their tactics were, how good their gear was. When you have a calling and you say, you know what? This shit's happening and I don't fucking agree with it. And I'm going to travel to another country and risk my own physical body to fight these people. Bro, you got to respect that.
That's fucking hard.
You got to respect that.
100%.
Regardless if their fucking ideology is completely 180 degrees
They're willing
different
to
than
die
ours.
for their fucking beliefs.
And it's like, you know what? All the Al-Qaeda in Iraq of 04 and 05, those motherfuckers had 1,000 times more balls than any of the fucking American politicians.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, it was wild times. And at the time they were my enemy, but it's like, you know what? Maybe we were all just being played against each other. Like, do you listen to Andy Frisella very often?
Yeah, I do.
So he talked about it literally like a day or two ago when he was like, when the wars were kicking off, I used to think like fucking nuke them all, turn the Middle East into glass.
I mean,
like,
everyone was.
Kill them all and let God sort them out. All that shit, right?
Yeah.
And now he's like, and now at 43 years old, he's like, I realized it was another level of making everybody hate each other.
Yeah.
If Christians and Muslims hate each other,
Dude,
that's
for
one more
sure.
division. And you want to know what? Like, Christians and Muslims aren't that fucking different.
No.
When you take away, like, obviously the radicalized ones,
Yeah.
but radicalized anyone is different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, radicalized Christians are fucking nut jobs.
Yeah. But like, you look at like Khabib Nurmagomedov,
Yeah.
the UFC light heavyweight champion. Well, he's retired now, but like hardcore Muslim. Wouldn't fight during Ramadan, like always prayed and did all this
Their
shit.
training camps are super disciplined.
Dude, those like the Muslim faith has a huge following of people that are good human beings.
Yeah.
Just like the Mormon faith does, just like Christianity does. And it's like, fuck, man, we're not all each other's enemies.
We're not. They
not
want
even
us
close.
to
And it's interesting because what Andy was talking about, what brought him up, what brought that topic up to him is he was talking about how Muslims and Christians are aligning against these new policies of mutilating fucking children. And hey, my 7-year-old feels like he wants to put a dress on today, so let's chop his dick off. And it's like, everybody's fed up with this.
Well, I mean, yeah, there was actually a news article out of I think it was Bellevue, it was somewhere in King County.
God.
And there was a group of Muslim parents that were standing up at the school board meetings.
Yes.
And they're like, this is fucking ridiculous. And they started labeling these Muslim parents white supremacists. Like, that's the new buzzword. It's like,
no matter,
you speak out of pocket, white supremacist.
no matter who you are, what your race is, what your fucking agenda is, what your belief structures are, if you don't fall in line, in lockstep with the fucking radical agenda, white supremacist.
Yeah.
I mean, our fucking idiotic president, and it's not him saying this because he's just a
it's his
puppet.
teleprompter.
Whoever is fucking telling him what to say. But he's like, dude, white supremacy is the number one
biggest
threat
Do you see
to America.
Did you see what the Homeland Security released the other day?
And I don't know. Refresh my memory.
Yeah,
or maybe
it was like,
heard.
I think I saw it yesterday. Tobin actually posted it, I think, but it was like Homeland Security threat briefing, internal memo that got leaked. And it was like white supremacist, number one threat. And then they went down this list of shit, and it was like parents speaking out at school board meetings, people who oppose government opinions on COVID or the economy. Like,
bro, yeah, you're
now a
an
threat.
Extremist.
That's what it was. It was like,
you're an extremist
threat.
if you think the government pissing all of our fucking money away,
stealing from us,
and then
extorting
pissing it away.
us and fucking, not just pissing it away, extorting us and fucking
laundering it back
to themselves.
Bro, and of course, guys that feel that way are extremists because we're the motherfuckers that are going to eventually put an end to all this.
Yeah.
You know, not like, let's take it a step further. Being physically fit is a step towards fucking white supremacy.
That was on the list.
Physically fit, dude.
Physical fitness.
So they literally want you to be like, oh, dude, like, I don't, because there's literally fucking young, impressionable fucking young men's minds that are made of jello, and their testosterone's 1/8 of what it's supposed to be. And when they see that, they're like, oh, well, I don't want to be associated with that. Maybe I shouldn't go.
I want to be with the good kids.
Maybe I shouldn't go to the gym. And it's like, motherfucker, the most savage men in history. Like, I think it was Chairman Mao said, like, what was his saying? Make savage. Oh, fuck, dude, I'm going to draw a blank. But it was about making your mind and your body savage.
Fuck yeah.
Like, you have those two things, they can't exist. You can't be one without the other.
Right.
You know, those two things are congruent. And like, you have to have a strong physical body. And once you establish that, now you can have courage, and now you have resilience. Now you can face adversity. But if you're just a fucking bag of shit, you look like 200 pounds of chewed bubblegum, you don't have the option to be courageous. You don't have the option to fucking draw hard lines in the sand.
Or to even have your own opinions.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Because
you're weak.
You're weak. It's like Jordan Peterson says, like, a good man is not someone that doesn't have capabilities. A good man is someone that is dangerous, that does have capabilities,
but can harness
it, and has the ability to choose when he uses those.
Yeah, something about being a monster, and I think he said something like, You should be a monster. You should embrace
Fuck
your
yeah,
fucking
dude.
monster, but know when to harness it.
Civilize the mind, but make savage the body. That was Chairman Mao's quote. He's quoting communist Chinese leaders. Yeah, well, sometimes these fucking evil men got to the top by implementing some fucking pretty legitimate strategies.
Yeah.
You know? Adolf Hitler was a fan of fitness. Oh, well then, if Adolf Hitler was a fan of fitness, then we must just move as far away from that as possible. Right. He also had one of the most powerful armies that the world has ever fucking seen.
Yeah.
In fact, I mean, you said you're a history buff. If Adolf Hitler hadn't decided to renege on his fucking deal with Russia, the whole fucking world might be speaking German right now.
Oh, for sure.
Because it forced him to fight 2 wars on an Eastern and a Western front. And it proved to be his fucking demise.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you dumb motherfuckers, you want to, just because you can't look at his ideology or his behaviors or his action like, obviously, I don't think anybody looks at that and thinks like, oh, that was a good thing he was doing. But you can also look at it from a critically thinking standpoint and say, how did he get so powerful? How did he get so strong? What did he do right? Like that motherfucker, if he was killed in the late 30s, he would have went down as one of the greatest leaders in German history.
Yeah.
Because he blew their economy up. He fucking
built their army up,
built their army
nation up. Production
built a fucking a sense of unity.
Yeah.
And I mean, bro, he got put in fucking prison. Like, he started from the bottom and he was determined. There's a lot of inspiration that you can draw from that. Just because he ended up being a fucking evil piece of shit that we had to go kill. Okay. There's still a lot of things that he did. And it doesn't mean that everything he did was bad.
I mean, yeah, it's taken a page from you need to be able to analytically look at things that happen in history. And like you said, it's sometimes the bad guys did tactically the right fucking decision. And why shouldn't you learn from that? I mean, that's why there's a military college in history, is to look at those sort of things.
Why is it that like Hitler is close enough? Like our grandparents lived through that era.
Yeah.
Right. So like we literally heard stories about World War II.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
And that's why he is always looked at as like just the poster child for the biggest piece of shit that humanity's ever produced. I mean, right.
The Holocaust was pretty bad.
No, I'm not saying it wasn't. But what I'm saying is you go back another generation or 2 or 3 or 5, and then you have these guys like Vlad the Impaler and Genghis Khan and Attila the Hun that were
some of the Caesars
that were just as fucked up and just as twisted and just as murderous. But we kind of celebrate those guys.
Yeah. I think part of it might be too is technology. I mean, World War II, we had now have video footage and audio, and I think it's just better recorded in history versus some paintings and some statues that guys did centuries ago.
Bro, I fucking have you ever read the story about the fall of Constantinople?
I have not.
The Sultan Mahmud led the Islamic front against the Roman army and overthrew Constantinople.
I have not heard
this
story.
It's the coolest fucking story ever, because when he was 12 years old, he knew he was going to be, they called him the Sultan, which is just like basically the Islamic word for emperor, basically.
Oh, okay.
And so, I mean, and it's a monarchy, right? So his dad was a Sultan. Mm-hmm. He knew one day I'm going to be the Sultan. And he's like, at 12 years old, he said, when I become the Sultan, I'm going to overthrow Constantinople. And that's going to be my mark on history. And bro, at 12.
God
and
damn.
He did it, I think at 21 or 22. And they had impenetrable walls. I'm struggling with that word. And they were so thick that cannons couldn't even fucking take these walls down. And so he went to this cannon builder and he said, build me cannons that have a cannonball that's 5 feet in diameter. And he goes, that defies physics. We can't build that. If we build a cannon that big, there's a good chance it'll just blow up and kill everybody. We can't build that. He goes, if you don't have my cannons by this date, you're going to be publicly executed. Roger that. Roger that. You will have your cannons, sir. And then he went and did it, dude. And it's like, dude, humanity used to be this fucking like crazy Game of Thrones game where everybody was fighting for territory and control. and it was fucking wild.
It was wild, dude. Like the beginning of our country and the expansion westward and all that shit, post-American Civil War, like wild fucking times, dude. And I think I think it was the Industrial Revolution. Once the West was settled and we were a civilized society, that was the death of strong men.
For sure, bro. 100%.
The frontiersmen were gone. The cattlemen, the cowboys were gone. And then all of a sudden we're living in these cities and these multi-family buildings with indoor plumbing, electricity, and then
everything got comfortable.
Everything got comfortable and easy. Yeah, exactly. It was sold to you as, this is an easier life. Wouldn't you like this? And
it sounds nice.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a frontiersman that's been freezing and starving your fucking ass off.
Yeah. You're like, oh, I can have a mate and live inside. This sounds great.
And now inside of fucking 150 years,
here we are, twittering.
It's completely ruined us.
Off.
It's completely ruined us, dude.
Fuck.
You know, another thing I've talked about on the podcast before is the Mouse Utopia study. You've seen that one?
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah. And it's like when creatures start living on top of each other and not having the space to live the life that like we're designed naturally to have, hormonally and psychologically, we go into chaos.
Yeah, for sure.
And it ultimately leads to our demise, and we're in the middle of it, dude.
Dude, that's why I try to spend so much time in the outdoors, honestly, like being in the mountains and elk hunting and deer hunting. Like my inner soul, like I'm a fucking nomad, dude. I belong roaming the fucking plains.
Bro,
and fucking
I literally say that almost every fucking
I am a recycled soul that's trapped in the wrong fucking time period.
100%, bro. Yeah. And I even tell my family to this day, like when I get fed up or me and Jenny are in a fight or whatever, I'm like, I'll fucking disappear. Like you can have all my money, you can have all my fucking businesses, you can have everything. I don't need a goddamn thing. There's something, and this is so fucked up because I would never really do this to my family, but there's some part of it that calls to me to literally get on a plane and go to fucking some jungle in some third world country and walk in and never come out.
Oh, big same. I say that all the time. I'm like, dude, when I'm fucking old and looking down the barrel of a fucking hospital bed or something, it's like,
fuck all that,
fly
dude.
me up to Alaska, give me the biggest goddamn pistol and knife I can fucking hold in either hand, and I'm just going to walk into the brush and no one's ever going to see me again.
Bro, and like, that's how it should be. Yeah. I was telling my kids about this yesterday because like a lot of the Native American cultures, they were nomadic. Yeah. They followed the buffalo.
Yeah.
You know, guess what? Once you couldn't fucking follow the buffalo, goodbye.
Yeah.
And no hard feelings. It's not personal.
Right.
Our livelihood demands us to be mobile and nomadic. And if as soon as somebody became like this village elder that could no longer keep up, they just go off into the fucking woods.
Well, or I mean, the tribe took care of you too. Like the village elders were taken care of because they were the young men once that were leading the fucking tribe and you know, we're warriors and hunters.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's not obviously like I'm not saying, hey, they sprained their ankle, go fucking go hang them, right? But like the Western society, we have become fixated on keeping bodies alive that aren't really alive anymore.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You're full of tubes and medications, and you got this bed that rotates so your lungs don't get fluid in them and all this crazy shit. And it's like, yeah, I get it. If my kid ever gets sick and I need all that technology, I'm going to be very thankful that we have it. But it's also it's not congruent with nature.
No.
And
and on some level, you know, it's getting kind of dark, but on some level, it's like, what's your quality of fucking life? Even if you're hooked up to all that shit living.
Yeah, no, exactly.
2 years ago, my dad passed away, and the last time I really spent with him, he was hooked up to every kind of fucking machine you can imagine.
Fuck.
He had some sort of crazy autoimmune disease that just came out of nowhere and killed him. And
how old was he?
I want to say he was pushing 60.
Okay. It's fucking young, man. Like I lost my dad at 66. And now that I have good friends that are like in their mid 50s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like half my circle is in their mid 40s. Like we're right behind them.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking
and it kind of makes you look at your own mortality a little differently because it's like, fuck, dude, that's literally right around the corner.
Yeah.
you know?
And yeah, it feels like time is just going by faster and faster.
I know,
like the older
man.
I get. It's like, dude, I've been training jujitsu for 6 months and the year's half over. It's like, what the fuck? Feels like Christmas was just the other week.
I know, right? Or even worse, it feels like the 4th of July was last weekend.
Yeah.
Last weekend.
Yeah.
You know, and it's already been pushing a month.
I know. I'm getting ready to go hunting in September. And it's like, holy shit, dude. It's like actually time to start prepping and packing.
What are you hunting?
Mostly elk.
Are you archery or
Yeah,
a modern
archery.
rifle?
Archery.
Have you ever killed an elk with an arrow?
I have. I've had some success over the
Dude,
years.
tell me about that.
I mean, so I've been hunting now for about 12 years or so. I started late. Actually, let me back up. My dad was, growing up, he was a very avid outdoorsman. I remember being 8, 9 years old and he'd bring home fucking salmon and deer. And I always wanted to go do that and chase that dream with him. And, me and my dad's relationship actually wasn't the best the older that I got. To be quite frank, he was kind of an abusive piece of shit.
Physically or emotionally or everything?
Everything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Me and my siblings' home life wasn't the best growing up. But anyways, where I was going with that is by the time I was old enough to do those activities, I didn't want anything to do with my dad. And he had some sort of life shift happen when I was young. I don't know what it is to this day, but he went from being kind of my hero and a man's man. He was a fucking general contractor and a fucking badass. And then one day I just had this realization. I was like, man, you're kind of a piece of shit. I don't want anything to do with you. And
how old were you when that happened? Do you remember?
About 11 or 12.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty young.
That's kind of nuts, dude.
Yeah, it is. It is. I left home pretty young. I was like 15, 16. I was like, I'm out of here.
See, bro, like, in like we've been friends for a while, but there's so much about you that I don't know.
Yeah.
But dude, a lot of times, like I don't need to know all of your history to be able to tell you're a very solid person.
Thanks, man.
But a lot of times, the most solid people, you know, it's because they went through a lot of fucked up shit.
Dude, I've got all kinds of interesting stories. I've seen and experienced a lot of fucked up shit.
Uh-huh.
Like from the time I was a kid all the way until, the last couple of years. I'm like, lately, it seems like I'm the guy who's always in the wrong place at the wrong time, like helping people who have been hurt or fucked up or anything. But anyways, yeah. So by the time I could actually go partake in those activities, I was like, it's time for me to peace out. And it wasn't until years later, I finally got my life together and I started a career in land surveying. And I met a coworker who was really into hunting. And he was always talking about taking off for the weekend and loading up the quad and guns and shit. And I was like, man, that sounds fucking cool. I kind of want to check that out. And he's like, well, why don't you come hunting with me? And we just went, where did we go? Oh, out in Snoqualmie area. And went on a deer hunt. I was like
public land?
Yeah, just public land, over the counter, public land hunts. I'm not cool enough to afford any guided badass hunts or anything. But
you're not going on some secret ranch with Rogan?
I fucking wish, but no. And yeah. Anyways, I caught the fucking bug and rifle hunted for a couple years. Didn't have any success. I actually got shot at one year rifle hunting. I was like, okay, I'm fucking done with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some fucking dudes that started winging rounds over my head. I was 100 yards away, crawling through some brush. And
as someone that's been an avid firearms enthusiast, and now I can consider myself a hunter. I got a buck finally. Right?
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah.
But regardless, when you take a shot at a person or an animal, it's not up for fucking discussion of what you're shooting at.
No.
It's very clear.
Yeah. And
my
you have
crosshairs,
a good shot.
My crosshairs are on my target, or I don't have a target.
Yeah.
Like I just, and maybe it's because I grew up in an environment where weapons safety was, I mean, if you fucked up, they fucked you up.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But to think like, I just don't understand how you could ever mistake a human being for a deer without being either drunk or fucking retarded.
These two dudes, I think, were probably drunk. They were
and retarded
because they never saw me. And they never, I mean, I had crawled down a ravine and up the other side, and I'm like scrambling, climbing up and moving all this brush. And I start cracking the tree limbs over my head. I'm like, and I had to yell, I was like, cease fucking fire. And all I hear is, there's a dude out there. I'm like, motherfucker, you fire another round and I'm going to
I'm
send
kill
some
you
back your way,
yeah,
motherfucker.
fuck you. Like, what do you want me to
And
do?
I fucking pieced out and exfilled the other way, but I was pretty hairy. It was the last time I went rifle hunting.
So see, you do have some combat then.
Yeah, I guess.
And that is is that initially what kind of turned you on to archery then?
To archery,
I don't want to be around these goons.
Yeah, that was a huge part of it. Is every time I go hunting, I wouldn't see any animals, just a sea of orange vests and whatever clear cut or there's trucks everywhere. And it's just, you know how it is going into the backcountry around here. There's fucking people everywhere, no matter what. And now those people have guns and they're shooting anything that moves. So, and actually I'd grown up kind of shooting archery. It was really fucking weird. Actually, when I was like 8 or 9, I was like, I really want a BB gun. Can I have a BB gun for Christmas? Every year I was asking, and my parents are like, no, absolutely not. Because we know what you're going to do with it.
Yeah,
Shoot fucking psycho.
Yeah, shoot somebody's eye out.
Or the neighbor's cat or something like that. But one year, lo and behold, they give me a fucking bow, like a 35-pound recurve bow with some shitty stick arrows. And I shot that thing every day after school in the backyard for years, man. I think I still have it somewhere.
So you were a sniper with a bow before the big archery craze.
Oh, for sure, dude. For sure.
Because I didn't get on board archery until let's be honest, Rogan and Cam Haynes blew it up.
They made it famous,
and I saw it, and it's cool.
No, yeah,
right? It's cool.
I'm a huge fan of Cameron Haynes. I mean, a lot of people hate on that dude, but he's done cool things.
I'm curious. I don't know him at all. We've actually talked back and forth a few times on Instagram. His son's in 2nd Battalion.
Yeah.
And so and then a couple mutual friends or whatever, but nothing that guy puts out or says or does is there's anything to hate on.
No.
Like I see hunters sometimes be like, you don't need to run 20 miles to fucking kill a deer. It's stupid. Okay.
You don't have to, but let me tell you what, it fucking helps. If you're out there in the mountains getting after it, fitness is fucking everything, dude.
Well, and here's the other thing. What if he doesn't need to do that, but he does it anyways?
He likes to.
Does it fucking hurt you at all?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That'd be
haters just going to hate.
You know, I don't need to do jiu-jitsu to be a good hunter. It has nothing to do with it. I just like jiu-jitsu.
Exactly.
You know, are people going to start hating on me for that? Like,
right.
Fuck you, dude. Right. Anytime, and let's be honest, why are people hating on Cam Haynes? Because
they're not out there getting after it.
Because he's made a life for himself
100%.
Based on, literally his slogan, keep hammering.
Hard work.
That fucking dude shows up, puts in the work, and has now built a life for himself around that. And he's fucking winning, dude.
Yeah.
And losers hate seeing other people win, whereas winners appreciate seeing other people win.
Fuck yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's like, well, he gets to hunt on these. And I even fucking said it off fucking colored joke or whatever a few minutes ago. I'm like, they get to hunt on these nice ranches and shit.
Good for them.
But make no mistake, they've earned that.
Dude.
That didn't happen by accident.
And don't get it twisted. Any hunter that does over the counter, blue collar, do it yourself, fucking grind public hunts. If you walked up to them and said, hey, you can go to this ranch down Arizona.
Yeah, I'd be like, fuck, yeah.
Who the fuck is going to say no?
That's right, dude.
You know?
And also, it's not like he got rich and famous and now he gets to have all these fucking opportunities. He earned those by starting from the bottom.
Something
that motherfucker has never not filled an elk tag.
Yeah. That's remarkable.
Did you read his book?
I did.
Endure?
I did.
It's a good
really
book,
good.
Man.
Yeah.
And he talks about one season, he had to track his bull for 18 days before he could get a shot on it.
Yeah.
I have never done anything consistently or consecutively for 18 days in a row.
It's,
maybe ranger school. And I can't even begin to fathom what that grind, all these motherfuckers that want to talk shit about him, go track an animal for a month.
Yeah. Go shoot an animal with a bow. First of all, go out into the fucking wilderness and find an animal and get close enough, put an arrow through it with a legit shot. And that's the easy part, to be quite honest. And then you got to break that fucker down and get it out of there.
Well, bro, and it's
real grind begins.
When I killed my buck, me and Zach last year, we tracked it for a couple hours, found it out in the cornfield. And then 10 minutes later, the neighbor drove down with a side-by-side.
Oh, shit.
And we picked it up and threw it in there and went and hung it in his barn.
Oh, that's
you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, and that's just a buck.
Right.
Imagine a fucking bull moose.
Yeah.
Where you have to quarter
or a
it.
bull elk. It's a horse with fucking antlers.
Well,
man.
I guess you've done that then.
Yeah.
So what does that process look like when you kill an elk and then you literally have to process it on plate?
So the clock is ticking. Like that animal hits the deck and it takes its last breath. You got the elements against you, whatever that could be. I mean, if it's obviously great to be hunting in a t-shirt and nice sunny weather, but man, you have got to get that animal broke down and cooled off. First thing that you do is walk up to it and obviously make sure it's dead and then get those guts out of it. And have you ever stood next to an elk or like?
I know. Oh, well, that's not true. In Estes Park, Colorado, they have a herd of elk that lives downtown.
They're huge.
And so, yeah, we drove through downtown and they're like on the sidewalks and shit.
Yeah, that's
Nuts,
a trip,
man.
It's a trip when you see that shit. But yeah, man, they're
a fucking horse with antlers.
It's a horse with antlers. So to get, when you dress that buck and you pull those guts out, probably wasn't a big deal, right? You just make a little incision, arm in there and scoop that shit out. Or you guys hung it? You said you hung it?
Well, no. So we actually went and we cut the guts out right away in this like little ditch area.
Yeah.
And then took it back to the barn and strung it up and did the rest.
Right.
But dude, even the buck, like cutting the guts out, like blood and guts has never been something that grosses me out.
No, it's not a big deal.
But at the same time, I'd never killed a big game. I've only killed fucking fish and people.
And I hope you weren't field dressing the people.
Exactly. So when you fucking, and I bought one of those little like razor knives and my buddy Chad was like talking us through it, letting us do a lot of the work. So we could turn into a learning experience.
Hell yeah.
And you're pulling guts out and it felt like you're fucking gutting a human being.
Yeah. Your first time doing it for sure.
Yeah.
It's pretty gnarly.
It's just weird more than anything.
So an elk is like 4 times the size of a deer. I mean, they're fucking huge. Like the torso on an elk, you could almost Star Wars that shit and crawl inside it on a cold day. So, you to get those guts out, you're in there fucking shoulder deep grabbing that shit. And if you got some terrain, that's best to get it uphill and then make your cut and you can kind of get
use
in there
gravity as your,
and it should just slide right out for the most part. And then there's a couple different ways you can go about it. You could leave the hide on there and start quartering it out. I've been showed to just take the hide off and it helps it cool down. So get that hide off.
The hide kind of insulates the heat.
Yeah, it holds the heat in. Yeah, you got the fat layer in between the meat and the hide and it kind of clings to that hide. So get the hide off. And then I like to cut the hooves off at the knee first, and it just makes handling those quarters a little easier.
What's one of those quarters weigh?
A rear quarter could be 75 pounds to 90 pounds.
I mean, fuck, bro. And how far are you humping that out?
It depends. The last one that I shot, it was a pretty easy walkout. Like distance wise, I think it was 6 miles, but it was relatively flat. Not
6
bad.
miles.
Yeah.
Like for people that have never walked with weight, because being a ranger, I became an absolute expert at walking with weight.
Fuck
right.
Yeah.
But our most like timed events where like time distance standards, there's certain standards you have to meet to be in the regiment. You're at like 40 pounds.
Yeah.
And then when you really go on patrol in Afghanistan, you hear
your kit.
You hear about these stories of the Vietnam Rangers that had 100 pounds. And I don't know if I believe those, because in Afghanistan, if I had a 65-pound pack and I'm out for a week, that was pretty gnarly, right?
Oh yeah.
So then to have 90 pounds.
Yeah. Well,
like,
that's it.
I don't think people can really conceptualize if they haven't had much time under a ruck, what 90 pounds on your shoulders
dude,
means.
And it's a different type of weight too. Like I guess the closest thing that would replicate it would be a sandbag. Because it's not like a solid object. It's fucking meat with a giant bone in it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's got some wiggle and some give to it. So having a good pack is paramount. But not only are you hiking out that animal, but you also got your bow that you don't want to leave behind, your day pack, whatever, or an overnight pack. The last one I shot, I had been out from base camp for 2 nights. So I had a full expedition pack on my back that already had 45, 50 pounds in it.
So do you have to fucking just basically go back and forth 4 or 5 times.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I mean, so that's a 20-mile day or whatever.
Yeah, and depending upon the heat, like kind of our rule of thumb is if the heat's okay, you can get it back to camp and get it hung and let the air cool it, keep it in the shade. You can get 2 days of it hanging in camp before you really need to worry about getting it to a locker. So the first day you try to make two trips, depends if your buddies are around.
Yeah.
I've got a nice little group of buddies that we've been hunting together now. Shout out Nick and Jake if you guys hear this. And we try to get the main load out the first day, go back to camp, and usually you're just fucking smoked. It's like, dude, I need to eat some food and drink a beer and then wake up the next morning and go do it again.
And there are predators fucking taking your shit?
I've never experienced that. There are definitely lions where we're hunting at, and there are a lot of black bears. So when you do come back in, I used to walk back in with my pistol in my hand, but anymore it's like, now I'll fucking put an arrow through you if you're up here eating on my shit. Because I buy those tags too. So
yeah.
But for the most part, you just, pay attention to your surroundings and kind of make some noise. And
dude, we had a guy just attend Guns and Geese this last class who's an elk hunter.
Nice.
And he was saying, like, every time we go out elk hunting, somewhere in Colorado, he goes, we'll pick up a black bear tag too, just because it's like,
no, there's tons.
There's the same the seasons overlap.
Well,
they
cohabitate the same area too. They eat a lot of the same food.
So, bro, he's sitting on this like little ridge line, and this black bear comes around a corner from like here to where Igor's working on the bench.
Oh yeah.
And he must have had a GoPro on because he's just like, oh shit, thunk, and fucking put one right through his heart.
No way, dude. That's awesome.
He's a cool guy. I'll have him send me the video after this.
Awesome.
I can show you. It's fucking gnarly, bro.
That's incredible.
I've never eaten bear sorry for people that have given me bear meat, but I've never really enjoyed bear meat.
Dude, same.
So I don't think I would ever kill a bear. I don't have a calling.
I want to. And actually on my bucket list of shit to do is I want to shoot a brown bear with
okay. I have bear on my property out where our range is at.
Yeah.
And I have people say all the time, like, dude, let's go kill some of those bear. And it's like I don't know anything about bear, but what I do know is some of the piles of shit on my property are like as big around as a dinner plate, dude, bro.
Their black bears can get to be pretty big.
I was like, there must be some fucking monsters.
Like, yeah. Yeah. It comes down to what they eat, from what I understand. Because
if the meat is good or not.
Yeah, I've had bear, and I'm like, dude, this is not good. It's like greasy and sour and gamey.
Yeah.
But I've had bear, and it's like, that's fucking delicious. So it comes down to what they were eating and how it's cooked, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Dude, let's take a quick piss break.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a new human being.
Much better.
Dude. It's funny, dude. Sometimes the show will go for 3 hours, and as soon as we're done, my guest will be like, "Oh, I've been holding a piss for an hour." I'm like, "Bro, this thing has a pause button." Right?
Why suffer?
Yeah, but no. So I mean, you were talking about the elk, and then we went off on black bear as well. But when it's all said and done, when you dress one of these elk and you pack out all the meat, how many pounds of actual meat is in your freezer?
It'll come down to how good are you at field dressing, because if you can fuck it up and you can leave a lot of meat on that carcass.
I'm sure that I would fuck it up.
Yeah, my hunting mentor, Gary, he's really fucking good at it. Like, he would break a fucking elk down in like 45 minutes and we'd be packing that thing out of there.
What the fuck,
and
dude?
Not leave a stitch of meat behind.
Well, dude, the same guy that I was referring to that shot that bear from Guns and Geese, he told me, because we were talking about this exact same thing one night over dinner, and he goes, "Bro, I've probably broke down 200 animals, and now I'm feeling like I'm just now getting pretty good at it."
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, "Oh fuck, dude, I've done half of one."
Yeah, I don't have that many. I've killed 4 elk and about the same number of deer now.
Okay.
And every time I get a little better at it, get a little faster at it. My buddy Jake, the last one he shot was 2 seasons ago, and it was just me and him. Everyone else was too far away. He radioed me, and I'm like, "What are you doing, man?" It's high noon, checking in. He's like, "Oh, just standing over this fucking cow I just shot." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Dude, he got 2 years in a row. And he's a new hunter. I'm super fucking pumped to experience that with him. But so I dropped what I was doing in the middle of the day, and I fucking hoofed it miles and some steep, rocky, rugged fucking terrain, up, down, and got to him. And we went to work, man. It took us almost 2 hours. to break it
Fuck,
down.
man.
Get everything in game bags. That's the main thing. So you got to have good game bags that breathe. And then I bring paracord and rope with me, and we'll rig it up to get into the trees. So whatever we don't take with us.
What's the good game bag you recommend?
There's a couple of them out there. I'll text you what the good ones are, but I think like Alaska Game is one of the good ones. 100% cotton. It's got to breathe. You don't want any like polyester or nylon in it.
Yeah.
It's like cotton, linen, canvas type bags.
Fuck, man. For me, the one thing that worries me about this stuff is like my brain, I can't dabble in things. Like,
me too.
Like if I do something,
I'm all or nothing.
I have to be all in. And when I'm all in with something, I can get very, very good at it.
Yeah.
But I have to be all in. And for me, cleaning an animal every other year, let's just say that's the success I have hunting every other year, which would be good success,
which is
right?
amazing success, especially public land.
Yeah.
hunting.
Or every 3 years, right? If I dress an animal every 3 years, by the time I do it, because I'm already thinking, my buddy Chad like gave me a fucking step-by-step instruction on, okay, first we do this and we take the guts out this way, and then we do this, and then we do this, and then we do this. I'm fucked, bro.
Dude,
I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, but honestly, it's after you've done it a couple times, it's kind of self-explanatory. And it's situation dependent. Like if they land in some fucked up position, you might have to roll that thing over or get some rope and hoist it up some way. Like,
yeah, I guess I never even really thought about that.
So
like with an elk, you don't really have much say in the position because
the last one we
before
shot,
they're dressed, they're what, fucking 800 pounds or something
on the hoof. They're 600 to 800 pounds.
Yeah, fuck,
like
dude.
A cow, a female adult elk can be 500-600 pounds, and a bull could be pushing 800 with that rack.
Yeah, so you really have no say in how the animal's positioned.
No. The last
is even rolling them over hard, I guess.
Oh, it's fucking really hard. Like the last one we shot, it fell down kind of uphill and staggered with its legs under it, and we had to get some rope, and the two of us are fucking winching it around a tree and
making pulley systems.
Yeah,
and shit.
man, it was fucking working. The flies are on you, and it's hot as fuck, and all you can think about is that cold beer back in camp that's fucking 8 miles away and 1,000 feet of elevation. Like, dude. So every situation is different, but
have you ever tree stand hunted?
I have once, and it was the most miserable fucking experience of my life, dude.
Because that's where I got my buck. And for Western hunters, I guess
it's a fact of life.
I mean, I shouldn't say for Western hunters, they look at that and think it's strange. But Eastern hunters, that's like it's very
common.
Just how they do it.
It's how they do
there.
it. And the more that I hunt black-tailed deer, the species we have on our side of the mountains here, this last year, actually, I changed up my tactics because I'm a spot and stalk guy. I get fucking bored.
Yeah.
I got ADD or something, and I can't fucking sit there for 4 hours and not creep around, right?
I'll tell you what, though, bro, there's something that was fascinating to me about just being up in a tree all fucking day.
Oh, dude, you see things in the woods that
That's
you
what
never...
I'm saying. Because I've been out in the woods my whole life.
Yeah.
Between hiking and the military and climbing mountains and shit. But once you are up in a tree and you're quiet and you just fucking...
When nature forgets you're there.
Exactly.
And it settles back
and the
down.
woods come alive, bro.
Magical, yeah.
To a point where I never even really understood.
Yeah.
Oh, at 41 years old, I'm learning what nature actually...
To shut your mouth and hold still.
Fucking turkeys running around, coyotes, raccoons, fucking like... The force is alive.
Well, that's what I was going to say is this last year, I switched up my tactics when I was deer hunting, and I found a good spot, nice trail where deer have been traveling through frequently. And I knew I had a really nice buck on one of my game cameras, and he was in there rubbing trees. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to fucking sit here. There's snow on the ground. I didn't feel like hiking anymore. I'm like, I'm just going to spend the afternoon and sit here. I saw more deer in 3 hours walk by me than I had in the last 2 years of walking around hunting.
I bet.
And I was
bro.
like, motherfucker, I guess I got to bring a book and just learn to fucking sit down, you know?
Well, fuck, man. I mean, think about it. If you're out in the woods tromping around, there's 100% chance that outside of like the elements and the wind and stuff being in your favor, outside of that, they know you're there before you know you're there.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
For sure, dude.
And so like that, I've always thought, like I've only done spot and stalk a couple times, And bro, it wasn't spot and stalk. It was spot, spook
And watch
the
him run
animal,
away.
and watch him run away. That's it, bro. And I'm like, and that was even with a rifle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I never got close to being able to take a shot.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, man, how do people do this with a
A
bow?
lot of patience, man.
You know?
I mean, and yeah, I've had some success, but obviously I've had way more failure than success. I've been, dude, I'm not even exaggerating. I've been 4 feet away from a 6x6 bull who was bugling in my fucking face, and I couldn't take a shot because if I moved, he was going to know I was there.
Yeah.
Eventually he did move, and I ended up fucking missing him at 12 yards, which is heartbreaking. You take your $3,000 bow and you hold it like a baseball bat, and you think about wrapping it around a tree.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck am I doing up here?
Bro, I had a fucking nice buck walk out onto this, they call it the food plot. It's like this little area of with a bunch of grass, and it's right at the top of this ridge line, and the deer will come up. And it's actually ended up where I shot that buck. But this was a day or two before this buck came out, and it was like it's like these animals fucking know.
Oh, they do.
And I was in the tree stand, and he was like 30 yards away, and everything's an open shot except right where he's standing. There's a branch that comes out of the tree and a bunch of fucking branches and leaves, like right in between us. And I'm holding the bow at full draw, which obviously it has the Hoyt that I have has a huge release.
Yeah, so but the clock is ticking.
But the clock is ticking.
Yeah,
exactly. And not only are you feeling the adrenaline of like, fuck,
this is happening.
This is here.
This is fucking happening. Yeah.
On top of that, my bow's right there. If I were to fucking take it out of its case and just go out in the gym and see how long I could hold it, lactic acid.
It's a shorter time than you think.
Bro.
Yeah.
And I was like, you motherfucker, like, take one more step. And he took like half a step
and quartered away.
And then he turned around and went back the other way. And then he turned around and went back the other way. And it was like, you motherfucker, dude, you know. And then exactly, he turned around, call it quartered away.
Yep.
So showed me his ass.
Yep. And walked away, keeping the branches in between us. And it was to the point where I'm like, I'm about to send this fucking arrow anyways and just see if I have a gotta
branch
let
or
it
not,
down.
You know? But then I'm like, no, because like,
Take it from experience. That doesn't work.
Yeah, no, and I knew that I was like, I fucking knew like exactly what the outcome with that. I didn't want to release that arrow other than for any other reason than frustration.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
for
saying?
Sure.
And if you're frustrated, it's like jiu-jitsu, man. Have you felt this yet? I'm sure you have because you're 6 months in. As soon as you get frustrated with an opponent, they fucking got you.
Oh, for sure.
You're fucked, bro.
For sure, dude.
Like
dude, you have to keep your fucking cool.
Yeah, dude. And it doesn't matter how fatigued you are or how good your opponent is. Like you have to, if things start not going your way, you have to tell yourself right now kind of sucks and I'm definitely not winning, but I have to stay calm. And then I have to think about a path to get back to a position where I'm at least neutral and I'm not losing the fight.
Dude, it's putting out energy into the universe is what I think it is.
Yeah.
And it's applicable to anything. I mean, hunting, like you were just talking about how that deer quartered away from you. I've had the exact same thing happen. I had a bull coming in. I actually called this bull in, which was, I've been trying for years to learn how to do this. I call him in. He's coming in on a fucking string, dude. The wind's good. I got my back against a fucking tree. My heart is fucking pounding. And I'm like, dude, this is about to fucking happen. And I was so focused on him. I mean, arrow knocked and same thing. I'm waiting for him to step out around these trees and he's coming in. I can just see his fucking beautiful rack just bobbing through the trees and I'm ready to pull back and he just stopped and I saw his rack turn and he's like looking right at me and he just turned around and he kept the tree in between us and walked away and I never saw him again.
Fuck, dude.
I was like, what the fuck just happened, dude? And I'm like, I pulled out my wind checker. I'm like, I got the wind. He did not fucking see me. I didn't make a fucking sound. I swear to God, dude, it's just the energy you put out. He was like, there's a fucking predator right there. And he turned around and walked away. And I think the same shit applies to the jujitsu mats, dude.
Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same shit applies to the mats. I've experienced what you said. And also if you come to the mats and you're tired and you're feeling weak and you're feeling like, man, I'm not fucking into this tonight, you need to not put that shit out there in the universe because you'll get fucking wrecked.
Oh, because
because everyone else,
it's a bunch
like,
of predators,
dude. It is like blood in the fucking water in this place. Like you walk in and you're like, you're gonna have a fucking rough night, dude.
Bro, one of my favorite things during a live roll is to watch my opponent fatigue.
Yeah.
That's like
sure.
my favorite thing.
For sure.
Because
dude.
it's like, to me, that's better than a submission. Because if I can fucking snatch a Kimura or an armbar, it's like, obviously that's good. That's what we're training to do, is to be able to submit human beings and incapacitate them. But I feel like a submission is what we're chasing when we're trying to end a fight, right? Mm-hmm. And it's very important. But when we're training with other athletes that are tough and in shape and have good fucking skill sets, we can catch each other all day, but making someone break and wither to your pressure, I feel like that's where real victory comes in.
100%.
And I love doing that to people, bro.
Like you said, it's like snatching their soul.
It's snatching their fucking soul,
tap
dude.
From pressure, dude. It's like, oh, your soul just left your body.
And I like, and I think I told you the other day, like, because I gave you a pretty gnarly round, and then I almost felt bad. Because I was like, is that too soon, bro?
No,
like,
I loved every fucking
okay, because I never want, it's not fair for me, someone that's been doing jiu-jitsu for 20 years now, to just beat the shit out of fucking white belts to a point.
I didn't even think it was like that. I mean,
cool. Okay,
like,
cool. And I told you this after the round.
You very gently, aggressively fucked me up.
But what I told you after the round is, it's like when I see certain teammates that already have like a level of mental toughness and a level of tenacity and a level of grit, maybe your skill's not where you want it to be yet, because it's 6 months of jiu-jitsu. You can only get so far in 6 months. But if you have those other things, what I feel like I can do as a coach is turn up the heat a little more and bring you to a higher level at a shorter period of time.
Honestly, I appreciate those roles from you and higher belts more so than I do when you motherfuckers just sit on me and hold me in mount or control for 6 minutes straight. Like, it was Friday night. You're like, you want to get first round and warm up? I'm like, fuck yeah. And you proceeded to just hold me in fucking mount. And you're 6 minutes of building frames and shrimping away. And the bell I don't even think you touch me with your hands. You're just fucking there for the ride. The bell gets off and like, hey, thanks, man. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm fucking smoked. That was the first round of the night. I'm fucking gassed.
Something that we're already an hour and fucking 40 minutes in.
Finally start talking about jiu-jitsu.
Start talking about jiu-jitsu some more, because I wanted a couple of things you said to me as a newer teammate that really stuck out. And you already touched on it, about how powerful it's been for you and Oliver to have something that you can share and bond over, and like a journey you can embark on together. It's super important for family members to do that.
Dude, for sure.
And I've seen that at this gym with a lot of people, that their children are here as well. Not very many that like do it together in the adult class like you guys do. Most of them are like, their kids are in the kids program, and then they're in the adult program, but they're still under one roof and we're all one team.
Hell yeah.
But one thing you said to me is like, and I've heard this story a lot, but every time that somebody shares it, it's powerful. You're like, I didn't know that another man could put his hands on me and do that to me.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that's an important thing to talk about, because every guy that grew up like us, just being, relatively tough, relatively good shape, like
a dude's dude.
A dude's dude. Like, I got in lots of fights growing up and I wrestled a little bit. Like, and then I won stupid fucking street fights because probably just because I was a decent athlete. And then when you go into the world of where other men are trained, none of that means shit.
No, it doesn't mean shit.
And you think that it will, and it doesn't mean a goddamn thing.
Dude, I was completely guilty of all the typical sins walking in here, I mean, obviously we met through firearms training, and, I'm all about that EDC, dog, fucking stay strapped, I mean, I'm into all that shit. I like guns, obviously, and I'm pretty proficient with a firearm. I carry a blade and all that shit. And when I came here, I was in a gym working out, jack and steel, fucking 4 or 6 days a week. I had a 7-minute mile run time. Like I was deadlifting 355 and squatting 300 when I came here in January. And I wouldn't say I walked in here cocky, but I was like, dude, I'm fucking strong and I'm fucking fit. Like, and I went upstairs and you see there's people here, all shapes and sizes and athletic abilities. I'm like, okay, I kind of sized a couple people up.
Yeah.
And it did not go how I thought it was going to go.
Do you remember who it was off the top of your head?
Oh, I think it was Eli was one of the first dudes.
Bro.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. Big mistake. Eli and Josh, I think,
Okay.
you know, I'm like, oh, they're my age, they're my size. And, you know, we did class and we were training and rolling together. And then when live rounds hit, it was
like,
holy fuck, dude. What just happened to me, you know?
Did you feel any sense of like anxiety or panic, or did you have enough composure to understand what was happening in real time?
I had a good sense of composure, I think. I mean, yeah, the first time I started getting choked, I fucking started panicking. I was kicking my legs like a fucking child and like, what the fuck is happening? And then Rachel Anderson gets on top of you and chokes you with your own fucking gi. That's always an experience. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on in here? You know?
There's a power to a woman submitting you.
Yeah.
And like when I always say, when I came up through the ranks, dude, there was hardly any women doing jiu-jitsu. Yeah. So I never went through the period where I was getting my butt kicked by chicks. But fucking Tyler Stanaway, bro. And I mean, he's one of the toughest dudes in the gym now.
Yeah, his story is fucking
hilarious. That's what made him hooked.
Yeah. Well, it kind of, to a lesser degree, that was kind of the same thing for me. And like I was saying, EDC, lifting weights, thought I was fit. I've been in some bar fights and some street fights. I've kicked some dudes' asses before. And I, walk around feeling like a pretty capable person. Yes. If you had walked into a bar with me a year ago, I quasi looking for a fucking fight. Just because, even going to the gym, going to the gym that I was training at and lifting weights, it's like, I don't know what that is, what that says about me, but I'm always sizing myself up to motherfuckers.
Bro, dude, like, I don't think that if men don't acknowledge that, they're being honest with themselves.
Yeah.
Every single man that I cross paths with, you want to know what the exception is? What I've noticed is if I have my daughters with me.
Oh, yeah.
Like if I'm in the grocery store and there's another 30 to 40 year old or 25 to 40 year old
military age male.
18 to 40.
Yeah.
We're sizing each other up. And
100%.
It's not that I have a problem with that person. It's not that I think I'm going to have a problem with that person. It's nothing more than like a primal thing inside of my lizard brain.
That's what I
like,
think too.
Can I fuck you up or not?
Yeah.
Because if I can't, now I need to have another plan.
Are you taking my food and my fire?
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
And it's not ever bad energy necessarily. Like I don't ever think these things are going to come to fruition. But when you walk down a grocery store aisle and there's another dude that's your size, your shape, your age, you're sizing each other up.
100%.
That's just what men are doing.
Yeah.
And again, it's not something that I'm like, oh, fuck, what if this guy wants to fight me? It's just a primal understanding, like
pecking order.
We're two males and we're occupying the same space and we don't know each other. It's a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Like, did you watch the documentary Chimp Empire?
Oh my God, dude. It was so good.
So remember, if two male chimps see each other and they're from different tribes, we have to fight.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yep.
There is no other way. You have two choices: fight me or flee.
Or leave. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And bro, what do they say? We have 99.9% of the same DNA. That's in our fucking monkey brain, right?
100%.
But what I've noticed is the same males, and my daughters are older now, so it's a little different. It would probably still be the case with my 8-year-old, but when I'm walking down the grocery store aisle holding the hand of a 4-year-old, instead of sizing me up, they give me positive energy. And it's like, man, my whole life, men like that sized me up. And now because I have this little cute creature with me, it's like a mutual understanding. We don't need to fight each other.
That's cool.
There's something going on, dude.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that is, but I've noticed that over the years, And, but if I'm by myself, it's back 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, am I going to use this Campbell soup can to crush your head?
Bro, fucking, do you remember, Evan? Do you remember that kid? 16 years old. He was probably 17
Your
or 18.
homie, Evan?
He's a kid that trained upstairs. He started kind of dipping out on the gym right about the time you started.
Okay. Yeah. I don't.
But he was a fucking little phenom, dude. Like he went from sucking to being phenomenally good in a year or two. And he was walking down the aisle at the soup aisle. Remember when the grocery stores had the arrows?
Yeah.
And I guess he was going the wrong way. And some fat old piece of shit started yelling at him. 16-year-old kid that could kill you, right? And that's the same thing I said. I was like, bro, I don't care that you're a fucking 6 foot, 185 pound savage athlete. You're still 16 years old.
Right.
And if that man, it'd be like if a man said that to Oliver. Oliver could handle his own.
100%.
But guess what? Someone says that to Oliver, soup can to the face.
Oh,
dude.
yeah. For sure.
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm going to jail.
And the crazy thing is, these motherfuckers, the only reason that you would ever challenge another human being about walking down a soup aisle the wrong way
is if you didn't feel threatened by them.
Yeah. That's exactly right. It's because
you think you can get away with it.
You think that society is so soft now that you can be confrontational with people. Like, motherfucker, I'll fucking die to make this right. Yeah. Like, if this is my last stand and I have to run off into the woods and fucking become fucking John Rambo, you know, come fucking get me. They drew first blood.
Yep.
Like, if some fat piece of shit yells at one of my daughters in the soup aisle, we have to engage in combat.
Oh, it's like
and that should be understood. That's the same reason I would never fucking say shit to someone else's kids.
No.
Ever.
No, also.
Unless it was egregious. You know what I mean? If a kid's doing something egregious, I do think other members of society
should stop them.
Should have the ability to confront them and talk to them about the problem.
100%.
But also, you have to walk
there's a
lightly.
line there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, and little arrows on the floor because of a fucking social distancing fucking fairy tale. You don't have authority to tell my kid what to do, bitch. No. You know?
No.
I mean, I've told the story on the podcast before. I had some fat faggot fucking tell my daughter to leave the park.
Dude in your neighborhood.
And it's like, bro, like, what do you think's going to happen when you talk to someone's 7-year-old daughter? What do you think's going to happen? Dad's going to show up. If I said to any kid, hey, get out of here. If I said that to a 7-year-old kid, I would 100% be expecting
a dad to show up.
Combat with the father.
Yeah.
Combat with the father is imminent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And maybe I'm doing it on purpose to try and draw them out. But.
Dude, I think, actually me and the wife were talking about this last night. I think we were actually talking about free speech, and it came up like the old adage is hate speech, free speech. And I came to the conclusion that, it's your God-given right to say whatever you want in this country, right? As an American, we're told we have free speech. You can say all sorts of hateful, horrible fucking shit if that's really what you believe.
Yep.
However, there should be fucking consequences to that. Like
100%, bro. Yeah.
If you use some horrible, hateful, let's go racial slur, you should expect that person's family to come back and fuck you up.
100%, bro. And
I think a big problem is our society has taken away that means of those problems correcting themselves.
There's no repercussion.
Well,
and this is what society fails to realize. These rights that are granted to us from the Constitution is against government intrusion.
Yeah.
The government can't come to your front door and say, you can't say mean things about black people. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're a KKK motherfucker and you want to say hateful shit about black people, the government
cannot come.
Shouldn't be able to be the ones to say, hey, you can't say that.
Right.
But if your neighbor's a black guy and you said that shit to his daughter, well, guess what?
That motherfucker deserves to fuck you up.
Yeah. When you're out getting your fucking mail, you might lose some teeth, dude.
Yeah.
And that is what, like, the threat of violence is what keeps a lot of motherfuckers in line.
Yeah.
And I've thought about this a lot because I think human beings obey like the social constructs for one of two reasons. Either A, they have the moral compass that leads them down the path that they're on, or B, they are afraid of the consequences of the people they share society with. It's one of those two things. And if you remove option B, then the people that don't have that natural moral compass, they fucking run amok, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Like, and fuck, man, the biggest contributor to this has been social media, because we have a whole generation of people that thinks, like, all these fucking guys that were writing me after my video, that you're just a stupid fucking meathead, fuck you, piece of shit. And it's like, bro, no one's ever said those things to my face. No one's ever said those things to my face.
And to your point, what's interesting about all this is you don't even see the younger generation acting this way. It's motherfuckers our age.
Yeah.
Who are feeling these limp wrist fucking pussies who now feel empowered.
Because they weren't the fucking kids like us that were at the parties, shotgunning beers, fighting dudes getting in the gravel, fucking pussy, like living like wild young kids, right?
Right.
And like, so now they feel empowered. And it's like, bitch, you chose the path of being a fat fucking pussy. And just because you have a Twitter account, you're still a fat fucking pussy.
Yeah.
You know? Remember Jay and Silent Bob, that show?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Remember when they're like, did you write Jay and Silent, or you username, blah, 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 and then they'd kick their ass? I was like, that shit needs to happen, bro.
Fuck yes, dude.
You know?
Fuck yeah. I think you should have your social media username on the side of your vehicle so that we can also send each other messages in traffic. Be like, you brake check me one more time, motherfucker. We're pulling over.
No, but it's funny, man, because like my gym's been open since 2014 or 2015, and my number's public, and I'm very easy to find. And all the people that were very disgruntled with me, interestingly enough, they kept it over Instagram. Weird. Weird. You know? And it's like, dude, I don't want to fight idiots coming to my gym, but if you want to fucking be aggressive and say that you're going to do that stuff, then just do it.
Right.
Just do it.
Right.
You know?
Well, I mean, that's why they're saying that they're going to do shit like that, because they know that they aren't. I mean, people who are capable of violence don't talk about it.
Yeah.
They just do it.
I mean, can you imagine like being of the mindset that like what we do here is basically taekwondo, and you could show up and just kick people's asses because you lifted weights and you were a good athlete as a kid, and then you have to deal with Tyler Stanaway?
100%.
Like, fuck, dude.
Yeah, and getting back to what we were talking about a minute ago, like that the first couple nights after training here, it really started to open my eyes about how I carry myself too. Because like I was saying, you know, it's not that I went around looking for a fight, but I was sizing dudes up all the time, and you know, it's like, well, if you want to fucking go there, I got no problem fucking going there. But then after coming and training, it's like, it humbled me. I was like,
sure, man.
Dude, I had no idea. I didn't know what I didn't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy fucking shit. Like, even my wife says it. She's like, you are way more fucking chill in public now.
Well, bro, I think also, I mean, yeah, I'm sitting here telling you like I size guys up in the grocery store, but on a very, very primitive and like low key level. Like, I'm not actually like shoulder checking dudes.
No.
What the fuck, bro?
It's all mental. It's in your head.
It's just a little fucking game that we play in our minds.
Yeah.
And if anything were to actually transpire, there's a good chance I would just de-escalate it.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey,
I'm
man,
not.
It's cool. I'm sorry.
I mean, saying what our brains are wired to do, we still have the capacity to choose to be fucking smart and reasonable, right?
You can be reasonable, and you can literally be the bigger man and fucking leave.
But once you start training, there's a couple things that happen. One thing that happens is, bro, that inherent need that men have for conflict, you get it out on the mats.
Yeah.
Oh, even though these people are my friends and I love these people, for 6 minutes, we're battling each other.
Fucking kill each other.
I want to win. You want to win.
Yeah.
And the cards fall where they may. And everybody in the gym, I don't care if you're fucking Daniel or fucking day one white belt, everyone in the gym is going to have good nights and bad nights.
Oh, for sure.
They're going to have wins and losses.
Yeah.
And that forces you to become comfortable understanding who you are as a person. And once you're comfortable in your own capabilities, you find yourself a lot less apt to wanting to test that out in like a public setting.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, because I no longer, there is no question of who I am or where I stand. I'm very comfortable with that now, you know, but also it's like, not only does it give you that calm, that understanding of like kind of who you are in the societal pecking order, but again, when you get that aggression out, man, you just came here and
feels good.
You reset.
Yeah.
And now you don't feel like you need that.
Yeah.
And people get that from fucking CrossFit, and they get that from weightlifting too.
I used to get it from lifting
but
weights.
You get it more here.
Yeah. Dude,
you know?
it's such an endorphin release, and just all your worries and your stress leaves for the hour and a half that you're in here training.
And bro, like you have to, for these 90 minutes, you literally have to focus on the next 1 second of your life.
Yeah.
That's, you know, like that is your priority, is literally second by second. I need
to get this knee off of my belly.
And I think that's how human beings live for a long time.
Yeah.
If there's not a direct threat in front of you, or there's not a direct issue that needs to be resolved, I'm okay right now. Mm-hmm. But that could change in 10 seconds. I think human beings, for probably since the beginning of time until the last maybe 100 years, we were much more present and just becoming in tune with our environment.
Oh,
it goes back to what you were saying about how like you go out in the woods and you feel something, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's
energy. That's
who we were for our entire existence. We are literally living moment to moment of what we're interacting with as individuals.
Yeah.
Be it hunting or foraging or fighting or fucking anything. It's like what's right in front of me is what matters.
100%.
Now you pick up your fucking phone and you start feeling anxiety about some man fighting another man in Ukraine, right?
Right.
And like take your political opinion or your like of the war. I mean, I'm watching men fight in trenches and shoot each other in trenches on the other side of planet Earth. And I feel an emotion from that. And I feel like some excitement from that or whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
Our whole life is now feeling emotions that aren't really relevant to our existence.
I think it's artificial.
Yeah, I think it's fucking us up, man.
Yeah, oh, for sure, man. For sure. You're sitting there looking at that little anxiety rectangle and you're like, oh, I mean, pick a topic, war in Ukraine, our economy, our country, blah, blah, blah.
How idiotic your president is, how, like everything.
And we could go down the list, and before you know it, like, at least for me personally, I'm like, fuck,
or bro, even cool pages, like hunting pages, you know, or like Nature is Metal. You follow that page?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
I'm going to watch this lion rip apart this gazelle's baby as it's being
baby
born.
Gazelle was as it's fucking screaming. You know? Yeah.
And bro, like every time I watch that, I'm like, I don't feel good about watching the baby gazelle get ripped apart.
Right.
I just don't.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm a pussy and like, it's just a brand new newborn animal. I don't give a fuck if it's a kitten, a duck, a fucking dog.
Just met its demise.
There's something that feels good about a little baby animal coming into the world.
Yeah.
That's why everybody, if you don't love puppies, I question.
You're a fucking psycho.
There's something wrong with you, right? So there's something precious about the creation of life. And there's something about it that just warms your heart. And then when you see a fucking animal that's 25 seconds old get its guts ripped out of him, it's kind of like, well, yeah, that's the circle. Obviously, the lion has to take the easiest fucking prey. It has to.
Right.
Otherwise, it doesn't
Otherwise,
live.
it dies, and its young die. Like
I get the cycle of life, and I can appreciate it, and it doesn't bother me at all. But do I need to watch it all the time?
Right.
Because like, as a human being, how often are you watching that?
It still drains on your emotions.
That's what I'm saying. There's something about it.
Yeah.
And dude, everything drains on our emotions. Except when you're here.
For sure.
Or I shouldn't say.
I think it replenishes.
It replenishes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I feel like you're constantly withdrawing, throughout the day. Little things happen. Everything from your phone to your commute to work. You're constantly withdrawing from your emotions and your mental well-being.
Yeah.
And whatever your outlet is, lifting weights, CrossFit, jiu-jitsu obviously is the best. that replenishes that
for sure,
you
bro.
know. And same for me when I go elk hunting for 2 or 3 weeks every year. It's like my phone only gets turned on every few days when I drive into town, get ice, and I check in with the family. You know? And for the first day or two, it's like, dude, I feel like a crackhead jonesing for a hit. I'm like, my phone is turned off, and I catch myself picking it up off the table. And
bro,
it's like,
we are crackheads.
Fuck, dude.
We are crackheads.
And finally, when that goes away, it's like,
you're free.
You're free. And it's just like, oh, fuck, man. And then after a while, you're like, you don't even miss it. You don't even think about it. And then when you turn it back on, it's like, when I turn that phone on after being in a wilderness for several days, I literally feel whatever that energy is. It releases and it pulls you back in, and you're just like, fuck, I'm back in it. God damn, it's in and out of the matrix.
And what's crazy is it's like, what is the right answer? Because could you get a Nokia 5150? Remember those ones?
Oh, fuck
the only game they had on them was Snake.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I was a Snake master. You get the Snake so long that it basically takes up the
Eats
whole
up the entire
fucking
screen.
box.
Yeah.
But then it's like the reality of my life right now is this podcast, apparel sales, sponsorship commitments, pushing out the gym. I do it all through my phone.
Well, I mean, all our entire lives are, everyone.
And if I were to literally get rid of my phone, I think financially I would probably take a hit.
Oh, for sure.
It's not sustainable right now.
For sure. For sure. I mean, don't get it twisted. I'm just as guilty as everyone else. I catch myself mindlessly scrolling. I use Instagram. I put pictures and shit on there.
I think,
but our whole lives, our bank accounts, our fucking appointments, our medical records, they're all on this little fucking rectangle now.
And dude, it's to the point now where if you don't have a phone,
you're fucked.
Good luck. Just like little shit. Like, anytime I'm trying to check an email on my laptop, or we're trying to fucking get the UFC and our ESPN Plus app.
Somehow you're routed back to your phone.
It's literally like, we just sent you a confirmation code to your phone.
Yeah.
Or scan this QR code or whatever it is. Without that stuff, it would be hard to navigate modern society.
Skynet got us, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking got us.
And again, banking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't even remember the last time I actually went into the bank for anything other than maybe withdrawing money for a contract.
Yeah, I went in and withdrew some money a few months back, and that was the first time I was physically in a fucking bank.
Yeah, it's nuts,
like,
dude.
What the fuck, dude? It's like pretend money that you see come in and out.
And it probably is just pretend too.
It is. It's fucking fake.
Yeah.
I
think I've said it for years, my retirement plan, and I don't know what retirement means for me, because it's whenever I built a life that allows me to take the next journey.
Yeah, to move on.
It's going to be sailing the world.
Hell yeah.
And maybe that's the answer. Just unplug, dude. Obviously, because I follow some forums and shit with people that are world cruising, and they say, like, dude, with today's technology, it's not dangerous to sail the world anymore.
Yeah.
Because if you're smart, and you check weather patterns, and you check warnings, and you can literally find a 10-digit grid anywhere on planet Earth and have a 10-day forecast, and tides, and fucking wind, and everything.
Shit does happen, though.
Well, yes, true. Like,
I've been rescued by the Coast Guard. That shit's fucking terrifying.
Well, bro, I mean, you've seen my boat out there.
Yeah.
I almost sank it one day.
Oh, really?
I went out on there was a small craft advisory warning. And I launched out of Bellingham Bay, and I was like, dude, I got a fucking offshore pilot house. My boat's 27 feet long. It's not a small craft. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I learned very quickly.
Oh,
yeah, bro, I grew up in Alaska, going through fucking
through the strait.
Yeah, through the straits and shit. But I was also in a giant commercial trawler,
Oh.
And so, our boat was 55 feet or something.
False sense of security.
Oh, bro, I got out there and I was like, I feel very small right now.
Yeah.
This is dangerous.
It's fucking humbling.
And I got to get the fuck out of here.
Dude, the
now.
ocean is humbling.
But then again, that wasn't because of an unforeseen mistake. That was ego. The small craft advisory was there. I was looking at my phone, reading it.
That's very true. Same.
And I was like, I'm okay.
Same with our circumstance.
I'm okay.
Yeah. We defied the advisor and went out anyways.
So yeah, maybe there's something to be said for for listening to the fucking.
Sometimes the government warnings can be helpful.
Bro, that's the thing. Half the time they have their head up their ass, and then apparently half the time they're giving you decent advice too.
Well, I think Rogan said it on his podcast. Like, he made the point that public trust has eroded so much in our government and our system, that what happens when there is a legit emergency and they're actually trying to tell us something? It's like, how many motherfuckers like me and you are going to be like,
fuck
yeah,
you.
Okay, fuck you.
Well, bro, I'm never getting any more vaccinations.
Oh, never again. I mean, you can get fucked.
You know, and it's like, that's what you get for trying to force feed this shit on me and my family. Now I'm done with your whole system. And I wasn't done with their system. And maybe it was because I had more trust in them or because I was naive, but I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I'm also done with, if you ever try and shut my business down again, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, there are now hard lines, and that's exactly right. But you know, you said it earlier in the show. You said, where were the bodies, right? I think most of us are smart enough human beings where if a pandemic was bad enough to require the efforts that
the measures
that were taken, we can take those measures ourselves. Oh, fuck. 4 people from the gym are already dead. We should probably shut the gym down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to hold up at home now.
Yeah. I don't need the fucking government to tell me that.
Yeah.
But maybe a lot of people do.
I think
like society is full
full
of fucking retards, man.
Yeah, here we go. Because as much as we talk about like fixing society or like trying to be good men in it, does society at this point really deserve being fixed?
Bro, I talked about it on last week's episode.
Fucked up out there.
Last week's episode with Lappin, I was saying, like, I think the only answer is a fucking giant meteor.
Yeah, I'm on team meteor.
Like, because it's just,
I'm there.
I mean, we're so far outside of natural order. It's like what we were just saying. A lion is going to kill the easiest prey.
Yeah.
Because that's what sustains life for its children. Like, there are rules that are universal rules that we all have accepted throughout history. And the father figure in any mammalian species deciding that it's going to be the one that breastfeeds, like, you don't see it in any other species.
No.
Not one other fucking species is the man saying, you know what? I think I should be the one to feed the children.
Like
we are so out of alignment with natural order.
We're now playing God.
Yeah. I don't think we can fix it.
We're now playing God. Like, and I watched Jurassic Park. That shit didn't work out too good.
You know. And guess what? If you've ever had children and you've watched your woman fucking breastfeed for a year and a half, you'll realize very quickly it's nothing that I want any part of.
No.
I feel fucking terrible. You know what I mean? And she'll tell you the same thing, getting bit and having to rub fucking lanolin on her shit and like feeling sore and rubbed raw. Like, fuck you, man.
Right.
Like, quit trying. Like, this is something that our women endure. That's hard and it's painful and it's enduring. And they do it because that's how you raise healthy fucking children. And it's not something that's fun. It's not something that's like, oh yeah, look at me. It's like, it's something that they fucking endure.
Yeah.
And now you want to take that from them?
You want to replicate that?
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
And that's and at the end of the day, that's what all this is. They're trying to take from our women. That's why men should be up in arms about this. Yeah. You ain't taking our women's fucking trophies. You ain't taking our women's fucking positions.
The sports is just the start of it. It's like, and now we're taking fucking breastfeeding. Like, what the fuck are we doing? And why is no one like publicly? Why are we not fucking doing anything about this? It's fucking ridiculous.
The only person with a fucking voice that is just blatantly standing up against the bullshit is Andy Frisella.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's cool watching Rogan get on board this stuff too.
Yeah.
Because I think Rogan's always been a smart, critical thinking, like solid, cool dude. But it wasn't until all this shit just became just absolutely obviously egregious.
Yeah. And blatant.
And blatant that he's like, wait a minute, hold on a second, you know? And I don't fault him for that. I'm actually saying the opposite. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
You know? But what's bizarre is like, you got 2 big podcasters that are speaking out against all the bullshit, and everybody else is just in lockstep.
Yeah.
Like, where the fuck are our leaders at saying, hey, men don't feed fucking children, dummy. Shut the fuck up. End of discussion.
Yeah.
No, dude, we got fucking scientists and experts in the Center for
The
Disease
fucking
Control
CDC is chiming in on this shit.
telling
Like,
us
what?
like shut the fuck up. But that's why we have a couple different options. And like we said, circling back to the fucking beginning of the show, I get excited when I think about post-apocalyptic America, because if you're a stupid son of a bitch that's trying to fucking breastfeed your babies as a man, broadsword off with your head.
Yeah. 100%.
You'll be lined, your
Get
head.
the pikes.
Yeah, will be lined my fucking property line.
Yeah.
Your head will be on a pike, and I won't lose a second of sleep over this, man.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. That's what has to happen, dude. No fucking great nation was fucking built on men deciding they want to breastfeed children.
No.
You know?
No. And the sad thing too is it's like, what is the course correction to all this now? Like, is it too fucking late and we have to wait for catastrophe and fucking
Catastrophe is the course correction.
like,
100%.
is that where we're at? Like, that's
100%, bro.
we have to wait for this shit to burn to the fucking ground because there's no going back now. I mean, our government is pushing this fucking propaganda.
Well, bro, I've
and this
lived
bullshit.
in third world countries, and it's just like that documentary that Matt Walsh made, What is a Woman? Did you ever watch that?
I don't think so.
So he's literally going around all of these fucking, like, talking to college professors, these esteemed positions, these super intelligent people. What is a woman? And they're like, well, it's a very subjective question. And here's why. And like, no one could answer it. He's like, it's the name of the documentary. What is a woman? Can you give me a definition? And then he goes to Africa and interviews some like tribal people that literally are like what you were
Like
just talking
third
about.
world country.
Yeah, they are in touch with nature. Their lives are real. They are dangerous. Day-to-day tasks are hard.
Yeah.
If you don't fucking perform, you don't fucking live. And they're like, what is a woman? And they're like, the members of our tribes with vaginas.
Yeah. It's pretty
Like-
fucking cut and dry.
You know? And then he pointed to one of the men and goes, what if he wanted to be one? And they all just started laughing, right? And bro, it was actually kind of an eye-opening moment for me, because what have we always thought about African tribes? You know, like, oh, they're still in the Stone Ages. They're not flying around in jets and fucking and
taking pictures of their dicks
with
cell
iPhones
phones.
and shit. No, they're primitive. No, they're not primitive. They're correct.
Yeah.
You know, and I think we need some hard times to force a correction. And bro, it could be literally anything. It could be the grid going down. It could be a war. It could be just fucking like absolute economic collapse where now you're fucking going hungry.
Yeah.
Bitch, as soon as someone's hungry, you think they give a fuck if their nipple
everything changes.
if their nipple can make milk, if I take enough of this drug? Like, shut the fuck up, dude. And that's what it's going to take. And I hope when that day comes, and this will sound like, oh, he's starting to sound like Hitler himself. I hope when that day comes, all these people starve to death.
Yeah.
And we start over, because you're not starving to death.
No.
I'm not starving to death. Like, and the men and women that have the grit and the resolve and the fortitude to be able to fucking pick themselves up and keep
Rebuild.
marching forward and rebuild, they're the ones that aren't down with all this bullshit. And all the people that are fucking caught up in these fake lives, they're the ones that are going to starve to death. I mean, the statistics, and who knows if they're accurate or not, but if the power grid goes down in 9 months, 90% of Americans are dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the 10%.
Yeah.
Let's fucking restart America. How fucking cool would that
Yeah.
be?
That is.
And bro, I ain't going to be fucking sad for a second. You know?
No.
Motherfuckers.
We talked about that before. It's like, it'll be an adjustment. Yeah. Your soft life is going to go away. I mean, like we both said, we live pretty good lives, you know.
Yeah.
I like waking up in my bed next to my wife and have a fridge full of food and
Good
coming and
stuff.
training jujitsu, right? But if everything ended tomorrow, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to fucking give up and just huddle up in a fucking ball and die.
you know what, bro? We'll be happier.
Yeah.
We'll be
Yeah.
closer.
I
And
won't
our
have to, I
lives.
won't have to drive my fucking commute anymore.
Yeah. And our lives will have more meaning, bro.
Right.
That's the truth.
Hell yeah.
So, well, fuck, man. We're at 2.5 hours.
Damn, that went quick.
It always does. Let's wrap this up. Let people know where to contact you if you want to put. Are you comfortable putting your Instagram out there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Instagram, NW as in Northwest Surveyor. I post cool work pictures and training pictures. And
Okay. I
check
like
it
to, and I'll put that in the show notes below. I always like to connect my guest with the audience because inevitably there's someone somewhere that's listening to this and something you said is going to impact them.
Hell yeah.
And it's cool, man. And it's powerful.
I'll just say for you average everyday dudes out there, my blue collar, my white collar people out there working, if you're into, you know, preparedness, EDC, you like working out, take the next step, come check out jiu-jitsu because it will change your life for better in some way, shape, or form. I mean, obviously we're learning how to fight and grapple, but man, you meet some cool motherfuckers and it's awesome.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, I appreciate this. I appreciate you taking the time out of your Sunday.
I appreciate you, man. That was cool.
And I told you, you didn't need to be nervous. It's a good time, bro.
That was rad.